Hey again, everybody, which is mostly Joss. On my screen, our names are the same length because I put in the pronunciation, which is what further added to the hilarity of typing the same emotes. Hey, yo. How goes vacation? All right, does our today command still make sense? Yes. So I'm not going to update that. Unfortunately, this just lit up. I literally just refreshed the page and it was yellow still or disabled. And they still have this on their stat. Oh, wait. Oh, that's 1 minute ago. Okay, I wasn't kidding about this. This was the last thing I saw here. We're continuing to apply mitigations, but yeah, now it's working. All right, well, anyway, merge. I broke GitHub. I don't think I've seen that XKCD, or if I have, it was such a long time ago that I don't remember it. It's one of the lower numbers now. All right, so we merged this. We got to switch to main locally. I don't remember if it even lets me do this. Hey, Atomic Man. I'm feeling pretty good. I had been sick for a while, and I'm coughing a little bit, but honestly, it's not that bad. So yeah, I feel like I'm at least operating mentally, which is what I cared about. Although I really don't feel like I've been held back from doing anything in the last, like, 4 days. Before that, I felt like I was just tired all the time. Figured out a project to do about a week ago. What's the project? I want to hear. I feel like I'm a 10% stake in this project. You pretty much told me that. So now I deserve to know what it is. I'm also going to be advising on this project and possibly taking over for a little bit. I like the direction you're going, but it's not as good as it could be. So we're going to improve that. Oh yeah, I'm going to just cut all this out. Discard. I shouldn't have divergent branches. Oh boy. What happened? Your branch in... Oh wait, oh. What? How is this even possible? I merged and then didn't push anything since then, right? Add summons 1 minute ago. Oh, this is the squashed thing though, right? Yeah. How are you doing, Atomic Man? Get to learn more about Finnish things. This time the Finnish version of baseball. Trying to do some player tracking for videos. Oh, cool. I don't know if you watch Marcus Brownlee at all on YouTube, but he just did a video on technology in golf, and it's way more complex than I would have thought it was. So yeah, I imagine any sort of sports tracking stuff can be pretty tough. Yeah. Although I guess anything where the sport itself has that kind of technology, they then have hardware right there that's kind of tailor-made for this. There's only so much I guess you can do from, excuse me, what you have as a watcher, like video and maybe external stats. But yeah, you can't add in your own cameras and stuff. With that said, you can probably still do a lot with AI nowadays. Yeah, okay, so I don't actually know. I don't know what happened here. Oh, I must have a commit that I never pushed. Oh, that's got to be it. Yeah, that's got to be it. So I'm guessing if I do a git log -2, I'm going to see a commit I did push. Fix win all battles. That wasn't me, but there it is. Yeah. Yep. I see. Okay. Well, what do I want to do? This was a really, really simple thing. So I guess we can just merge. Yeah. Git pull. No rebase. Yeah, this should be really, really simple, right? I'm going to just trust it. We're just going to click commit. Hey, Andy. Welcome in. Disney live streaming sports, but why their characters... What? I don't know what this is even referencing. Small enough that a fixed camera is enough to track all the players on a field, training an AI model. Oh, cool. Yeah, really cool. Well, I will happily be your background noise. I'm hoping that we make a little bit quicker progress this afternoon. And not even quicker, I guess, just less stunted. All right, let's hit the play button over here. This will hopefully work. Yeah. Yeah, I guess let's just grant more things and grant some items and put a point into burn and then upgrade this. Yeah, and increase the game speed. I think everything's fine, but I did cut out summons for this. Although that's actually what I just talked about doing, is making a summoner class. Also, I got to say, this change threw me off for a bit. I made it so that your adventurers carry items and that you don't have workers anymore other than the one you start with. And I kind of like the change. I think it's a good change, which is good because it took a bunch of time to do. But you're not always guaranteed that something that takes a lot of time is going to be a fun mechanic. All right, cool. So that's working. And now we just need to close the task, which I think would have automatically been done as part of that PR. Let's just make sure of it. Click this, click this. Yep, it's closed. Cool, 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 cool. Yeah, nice. All right, so add tasks to add in some of the new monsters. We could just do this now. It really shouldn't be that hard to do. Yeah, give me a sec. I gotta scroll up in this conversation to make sure I have all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. Okay. How many do I have? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm missing some. I think it's the other bats. Okay, yeah. I'll just download all these things. Sorry, I'm doing something off screen right now. This shouldn't take too long. I'm trying to find this. There it is. Okay, so there's 1 picture, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, and I think we got to add in all of these. Yeah, it's just the bats that I'm missing somehow. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, Disney showed a few NFL games in a Toy Story bedroom. Whoa, really? That's really interesting. Yeah, like I think I don't really watch any sports, but I think it'd be cool to just check that out to see what it is that's all about. I think I'll write that down. The closest thing I can think of to that, which is not that close to it, is StarCraft 2, I think, had a cartoon mode or something like that. How do I find this? Yeah, you could render the whole game in this cartoon mode. I don't remember. This looks like StarCraft 1. Yeah, this is StarCraft 1 because they have the comm center or whatever that's called. And yeah, it's just cool. It's another way of rendering the exact same information. You ordered a Corn keyboard V4 already fully assembled. It's my fault. Well, I'm happy to hear it. I really hope you like it. I wonder what V4 changed. Because every version does a little bit more. Let's take a look at V4. Maybe it doesn't really make a difference for you because it's already fully assembled, but maybe it's easier to solder. Where do they talk about what the versions actually introduced? I don't know. Docs? Yeah, I'm probably not going to find it through this. V4. What does V4 do? Whoa, encoders. Okay, that would be super cool. Oh, I got to make a new Corn now. It's Toolshed's fault. Yeah, wireless one with encoders would be awesome. Although I'd have to probably make a whole bunch of changes to my firmware. Paid reskin for Brood War. Yeah. So StarCraft 1, yeah. Oh, neat. Yeah, well, I hope you like it. I'm sure you will. I hope you will. Now, let's save all these things. I'll save this as... Wait, I already had this? It only just clicked with me that the reason why I put a 1 at the end of this is because I must already have this in here. Bat sprite sheet. No, this isn't the full bat sprite sheet though. Okay, so yeah, sure, whatever. Let's just save this with whatever names it gives us. That way they're on my machine. Skeleton sprite sheet. Yeah, they're all really cool. I don't know what it's going to take to add all of them, but maybe what we should start with is adding in the death animations. So the top part of this is what we already have in the game, what I have selected here. This is just the idle animation. Then there was a death animation, which I originally hadn't thought too much about this, but I think what we need to do is we need to play, obviously, idle while alive, and then when they die, play death animation, and then fade them out. Because I don't think we should just keep a bunch of like dead bodies on the battlefield. But yeah, then there are also some recolors here, and these aren't just hue shifts, I think, but I'm not actually positive. But yeah, I like them. I like how they look. Ember, thanks for the resub. And hey, Sigma. Do I do graphics myself? No. I am very, very bad at graphics. Yeah, welcome back, Ember. Sigma, let me see when the... Whoops. I didn't just time you out, did I? No, I didn't. Whew, okay. Yeah, it's been since 2021. Wow. Welcome back, Sigma. I've got the back command to talk about this. Yeah, I think what we could do is we could add in some amount of delay here. Maybe like 0.5 seconds or something. Some small amount, like 0.5 to 2. And that way you get to see it and then it fades out. Because functionally, there's no real problem with just keeping them around unless there are enemy summoners. And then you want to free up the space so that they could summon more stuff. So if you had this, like if you had the bodies sit around for, let's say, 10 seconds, then the enemy team is kind of hampered for that 10 seconds. Anyway, we do not have these graphics in the game, and we don't have the ability to play out a death animation either. So we would need to... I think let's start by adding in the death animation. Yeah. All right, so then that's what we're going to do. Add the new monsters, the Quickie Joe drew. Find skeleton. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so the death animation part, let's do that first. I think having all of these in their own sprite sheet might be a good idea. Let me think about this though, because I want to see how we do this right now. We currently pass in the sprite frames path, and that turns into the animated sprites sprite frames. Yeah, right there. So we would need to put in, we would either need to change the sprite frames to have something that plays on death, or we need just another animated sprite. But I think just changing the sprite frames should be fine. Yeah, I think I split them into 3 as well. That way each character can have its own set of stuff. Are all of these the exact same format, though? Let's make sure that's the case. Where did the other sheets go? When shouldn't they be up here somewhere? Close that. Close that. I guess I don't really need this stuff open either. Close that. Oh, maybe I didn't open them. Oh, that's why they're not there. Oh, I'm a very, very smart person today. All right, they all have 4 idle frames and then 4 death frames. Yeah. Yeah, they all do. Okay, so we need to split this up. Then let's start by just splitting one of these up. What is the image size? 120. So we just want to make this 40 then. And yep, there we go. Resize. Yeah, so that's the first bat. Now export as bat with death animation. Am I still at Amazon? I had only applied to Amazon. I ended up working at Google. But yeah, this command talks about it a little bit more if you type this in. No, though, I'm not still there. This is my main thing that I'm doing. And I've been working on a game for the last, I'd say, couple months. I mean, I know there's a number in the title. I think it's like day 22, and I say and a half because I stream in the morning and then again in the afternoon. But there's been pretty good progress in that amount of time. And right now we're just going to add in some new graphics, and that alone will already, I think, spice this up a little bit. So currently Battler has one animated sprite 2D. We have option number 1, add a new one for the death animation. I don't think that's a good idea. Option number 2, add, wait a second. Wait a second. We could open up this. Yeah, we could just have 2 animations in here. There could just be a death animation. Oh, but there's a problem. I need to face this the other way. Oh, drat. I can't just face it the other way now. We'd have to flip each one of these individually. Because with the idle animation, it doesn't really matter what frame we start on because it's an idle animation. But with the death animation, if we H flip the whole thing, then it's going to look like the sprite is coming back to life. I guess we could just play them in the other order. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Let's do that. Although it's going to look really weird in our sprite sheets, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so image, transform, and flip. And now export that. Yeah, we can always reorder later. We could even write a tool to do it. That would probably take longer than just reordering them manually. So now instead of bat sprite frames.tres, we want to pull in this new one. Let's go to Skeleseller, and let's just open this other one as a tab. All right, game, assets, monsters, and then downloads. Yeah, so I want to put this over here and then sort by name. Okay, now we load in. How does this? Oh, I see. I see. Okay, so I just add a new one and I call this death or dying. Death. Dying. Death. Now we add in. Oh, I'm going to need to change this because bat.png can't exist anymore. Yeah, okay. I got to change even the default one. All right, let's just delete all these. What frame rate are they at? They're at 5. Okay, delete you. And go to monsters, bat. There we go. Really wish the scroll wheel worked here. Okay, I guess technically we could put them in this order, the order they were in before. Just want to say while I have you, I got my first job last January as a software engineer at Clover, then quit to join a startup as of April 1st. Finally setting out to build my own startup now. Have an investor in client. Nice. Wow. Yeah. Owe you a great deal. Learned a lot watching you, man. Like the way you take notes, your visual mental process, speaking out loud. Well, I'm really, really glad, Sigma. That's great. And I wish you the best of luck. Really, finding an investor and a client already is already incredible. So yeah, I appreciate the credit, but this was your journey and you've done a great job. And I wish you all the success in the world. And yeah, I can continue to be your background noise now that I'm back to streaming. I will say this, the new schedule is shorter than the old schedule. So it's typically Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I mean, right now for me, it's 1:19. So if now is a good time for you, then you'd get to catch like 3 hours of a stream. But yeah, I stopped doing Tuesdays because of YouTube, which I have now stopped kind of making videos, and Thursdays are my catch-up day. So maybe I'll repurpose Tuesdays at some point, but this whole summer is going to be just thrown out of whack. There's a lot of stuff going on just outside of all of that. So yeah, maybe in the winter or fall or something, I get back to this. Okay, so we have the default animation. I'm going to add in the death animation too. This is this. Whoops. This. Oh man, it's hard to click those. They're gigantic boxes and I still can't click them. All right, now how do we play this? I feel like the play button is being covered up by something. Isn't there a play button here? Oh, I guess you can't because it's not an animated sprite. Okay, well, that's fine. I mean, I know these are the right sprites. All right, so we can save this. Wait, how do we save this? Because it looks like worker is changed, but I didn't actually change worker. Should be bat frames. Does this have death in it? It does. Oh, okay. Well, let's try that then. So there's only one enemy, so we are safe to just test this out right now. And this should fade out on death. We're going to actually change. So on death handle is going to be something different here. We're going to say sprite.animation equals death. And then sprite.animation finished goes to this. We put this here though. Yeah. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, maybe we have to hit play over here. I don't know. Let's just try it and see what happens. What's the plus equal syntax? Basically add event listener. Yeah, it's the delegate syntax in C++, C#. And it's pretty much saying like, yeah, listen to this event. Okay, so we just had to wait for this thing to die and then we look at it. I should really have sped this up or something. But now we're in it. We're watching it. Okay, it did die, but then it looked like it repeated the animation. And I need to not auto loop that animation. So here, death has an animation looping. Yeah, I turned that off. Yeah, I said C+. I didn't say the second plus. So for all you know, I was going in a totally different direction with that. Okay, the problem is I want to watch the animation a little bit, I guess. At least let the death animation play out. No, maybe we just treat that as a different problem. Yeah, let's treat it as a different problem. Let's also go back to this and give the rogue an ability that lets them summon bats so that we can test this a little bit easier. Yeah, I got to do some kind of delay or something there. All right, so now we summon our own bats, and these die after, I think, 10 seconds. And it should play the death animation and then fade them out. Yeah. Cool. And then they came back to life because they're getting resummoned. It's not because they're actually, there's a bug or anything. So if we made them last for a shorter amount of time, debug summon. If I said instead of 10 seconds, we said like 3 seconds here, then it'll be kind of more obvious what's happening. Very cool. Very cool. We got death animations. Yeah, this looks great. And I like the fade out that happens automatically too. Yeah. Pretty nice, pretty nice. I will say as a task that when killing the final enemy in a room, I think we should maybe, actually we don't need to do anything different. Try not moving the camera to see if we show the whole animation. The reason why we don't necessarily have work to do here yet is because we need to make the adventurers walk to the next room, which will take time. Yeah. The juice. Now, there's an idea that I had a little while ago, which was, well, it wasn't even my idea. Adventurers could move at different speeds on the overworld. So imagine that the rogue has a speed of whatever, 7, and the warrior has a speed of 3. Well, should they also move at that speed in battle? Like, should the warrior really slowly move to the next room? Hey, Cool Burns. And I don't know. I don't think so. They should probably all just skedaddle. Okay, so now we have some mechanical work. No, thanks for resubbing, 3D Extended. Still love the stream after so many years. Keep it up. Looking forward to mentoring on Wednesday. Yeah, me too. Yeah. And thanks for the resub. I mentioned you in Ramey's mentoring session for a couple of reasons, although now I've forgotten and I refuse to let myself context switch. But yeah, I look forward to talking to you on Wednesday. I also, you know, that session with Ramey, I got to write something down here because I have a mentoring learning for myself. Need to keep in mind that mentoring is more about addressing issues than just talking. So some effort should be made to improve. Yeah. And I'm not saying Rami did a bad job or anything. It's just this idea came up sort of during the session where I said to Rami, I'm like, oh, here's something you could do. He said, yeah, I could. And I said, will you do it? And he said, I don't know. I was like, okay, well, I think we should try something. And he was on board with some of the suggestions at the end anyway. But I think I've noticed this in other mentoring sessions I've done in the past, like the distant past now, where they start as mentoring and then they sort of turn into social catch-ups. And the problem here is like, I still want to provide some value, but if you were just doing a social catch-up, then you don't really just spew advice at people. But mentoring is all about like spewing advice at people. I want to spew advice. Adventurers are clones, so you can just change your speed. Yeah, but from a design perspective, what I was saying is like, should they have the same speed? I know we could change it, but what should be done? You had any wrist or finger issues during your career so far? Developed bad tendon pain from like 3 years ago and never completely went away. I haven't, but yeah, tendon pain I think is, out of my expertise. Yeah. I was going to say the people with muscle pain, it sounds like exercising helped them quite a lot, but tendon pain, yeah, I don't know what you do about that exactly. But I hope you feel better. I hope you can find a solution that works, even if you can't sort of solve the pain issue. Because I've always kind of said this, but even though we have AI now and we have, live transcriptions and everything, I think most people sitting at a computer are still going to be typing for quite a long time, maybe like the next few years at least. Then eventually, who knows, maybe transcription gets good enough where instead of just typing all this out, I just say, private void on death handle, and it just writes out the syntax for me. Medical and financial advice. I mean, I could probably give some financial advice, but medical advice is like, exercise. Try to go on walks every once in a while. That's about all the medical advice I could probably give. All right, yeah, I just mentioned there's got to be some mechanical work now. So we have bat. Bat is just going to go away. We also need to think of names for these things. So we have, I think I'm going to go with the very lazy names. Where are they? Oh, I modified the image that I loaded, so I can't do that anymore. Let me load up the new one. Yeah, so we have 3 of these. I think we'll just call it bat, red bat, and green bat. I think that'll be fine for now. Now we can't just assume that this has a death animation. So we need to check if sprite dot, is there has animation? How do you tell whether it has an animation? Get animation. Can you tell what possible animations are? Oh, the sprite frames have it, I think. Sprite frames dot, yeah, it has animation. There it is. So if it has a death animation, then play it. And then we'll say private void fade out. And that'll be this. Fade out. There we go. That goes there. And then if we don't have a death animation, we just fade out immediately. All right, so this is technically wrong now. Should fade out on death is like should die on death. Should disappear on death. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. If death, die. Switch from a mouse to a touchpad when I started having a bit of pain. Haven't felt anything since. Yeah, I guess a mouse forces you to curve your hand, or you have a vertical mouse. But I guess a touchpad you can have your hand flat, curled, whatever you want. Best way to restore a tendon is through motion. Interesting. I think it's good to know some of this stuff. I mentioned that I had just gone on vacation and we did the Camino de Santiago, or part of it. And that involved walking about 300 kilometers or whatever, about 200 miles. I don't know what the actual conversion is. And there were definitely injuries that popped up from people on the way. And some people just kind of know how to fix them or what to do about them. There were people with activity tape, and they're like, this is how you tape things up, and these are the kinds of things you apply, and what else you do, and the exercises. And I'm like, that's good to know. I just want to be around those people. All right, so death animation name. I guess let's make a constant here. Private const death animation name equals death. And then put this here. I'm all over the place right now, right? Yeah, let's delete this. And then call this one bat. And there we go. All right, now we got to chop up these other graphics. So we go to image, not like that. What am I doing? Canvas size. There it is. All right, so now we set this to 40 again, but now we set the Y offset to 40. Why did that not work? Whoops. What's going on? Why can't I set this to 40? Whoops. Oh, negative 40. Oh, that's why. All right, then we flip this. Flip. And then we export as, let's just put it in the right spot to begin with. Where's the right spot? I have no idea where I put things on my hard drive. I want this folder. Copy. Can you even do that in here? I guess so. Redbat.png. That seemed to work, but now if I go to export as, does it still? Yeah, it's in the right spot. Okay, cool. Hey, Cereal Pie. Okay, so that's red bat. Now we need green bat. Canvas size, same thing, 40, but now we set this to negative 80. And then flip. And then export. And you are green bat. All right, now we go make 2 more bats, I guess. I could do that, but another thing I could do is get rid of this and make it all dynamically encode. What if we did that? I kind of want to do it that way, but eventually I don't think Quickie Joe is going to be making death animations for everything. And I'm okay with not having death animations for everything. So what we need to do is something like, if we have an image that's 2 rows tall, to treat the second one as a death animation. If it's only 1 row tall, treat it as an idle animation. And then we would pass in a descriptor of a set of animations. So if this is just one thing, then we would set this in here. How would that work? We don't have idle animations for the adventurers, though. I think we need them. Yeah, I think we need them. Okay. Yeah. Idle animations for the adventurers for the sake of battle. Just store a resource link and construct a whole animated sprite with no work. Yeah. We just can't do that. Well, we can do that, but we don't have animated sprites yet for the adventurers' idle frames. We could use their walk animations for now, but I think let's just rework this a little bit. So instead of a sprite frame path, let me think about this. Wait, how does this work for adventurers? I don't actually remember. Battle system, create player. What do we pass in? Texture path. What is the texture path? T-res. Yeah, what is that doing? Is it literally just an animation that has 1 frame? Rogue. It is. Okay. Well, I guess we can do that. If we have literally one frame to just use the one frame. Okay. How can I learn more about the keyboard you're using and its key bindings? Yeah, that corn command that Joss linked in, Squire. Take a look at that. It should answer probably all of your questions. But yeah, the key bindings are custom. I do suggest watching that video though. And then in that video, there's another description. Sorry, there's another video in the description of it that is how I eventually got to this keyboard. Hey, BBB. I don't know if I can actually call you that. But hey, Bald Bearded Builder. Welcome in, Raiders. I have been working on Skeleseller probably since the last time you raided, although I'd taken a pretty long vacation. But we've got a lot of progress since then. And I'll show you this quickly. Hope your stream was good, Bald Bearded Builder. So this is a game where you run a town and you have adventurers that do battle for you. So if I go start a battle, they automatically fight for you. And this is set up to just test things. So my adventurer is just spawning a bunch of bats that die in 3 seconds. So I'm just going to force win this battle. And it put items into my town. And then my worker and my adventurer will go and pick up items and restock our shop. And these customers walking around will go buy items. And then with the money that you get, you can upgrade your adventurers and hire new ones and start, bigger battles and everything. So if I click this, you can see here's a slightly larger battle going on, and you can eventually, upgrade the skills of your adventurers and stuff. So that's the general game. We've been making this for, I guess, 22 stream days, and the launch should hopefully be by the end of this year, but it'll be playable at points throughout. I mean, I guess technically it's playable now if you wanted to try it, but I don't recommend doing that. I think you should wait until the next checkpoint, which will hopefully be like July 19th or 26th. And it is June 28th. So we're not too far away, maybe. It's like 3 or 4 weeks. But I might delay this if I feel like we haven't addressed all the feedback that I want to get to. But progress has been really, really slick. I'm pretty happy with how things are going. So right now what we're working on is adding in some new enemies that Quickie Joe drew. So there's a couple of skeletons and a couple of these like little Grim Reaper guys and some slime monsters and this worm thing and then the bats. And because we now have so many enemies and we only had one before, I want to do this programmatically. So that's what we're going to look at now. But welcome in. I guess maybe unlike a co-working stream, I try to be as interactive as possible. So whenever people want to chat about things, this is not me casting shade or anything. It's just me saying a different structure of stream. So we have 3 cases that can happen here. You could either pass in a single frame. Yeah. So this will either be a single frame, adventurers right now, or I guess 2 rows of frames, which is idle plus death animation. Yeah. And we can figure this out based on the size of the graphic passed in. But right now it's not a sprite frames path. It's going to be a sprite sheet path. So let's do sprite sheet path. Then change everywhere that we ever call this init, which is only 2 spots. So now this is texture path. I guess that can still be called texture path. Maybe we call it sprite sheet path. Yeah, sprite sheet path. Sprite sheet 1 word or 2? Technically 2. Does Godot ever use the term sprite sheet? Do we ever use the term sprite sheet? Not until right now. All right, well, we have to make an executive decision. Capitalize the second S or no? Yeah, we're going with what they say. They have a lowercase second S. So let's do that same thing. Cool. Change this to the same thing. Spreadsheet path. It did not change it everywhere, surprisingly. Cool, that's good. Now we need to get it from all adventurer data. So instead of just saying warrior, this is going to be one of the characters in temp for now. Temp has mage, rogue, warrior. Okay, so we got to pull it from temp. mage.png. Except for this is not the mage, this is the warrior. And just copy paste this. In fact, you know what we could do? We could just search for this and do one of these. That for some reason didn't work. Okay, but we'll just write it out. PNG. There. So that's done, but now the bat is not done. All enemy data. This needs to be a sprite sheet. Sprite frames path. Yeah, sprite sheet path. And then where we make this, it's going to be different. Where are you, monsters? There you are. Bat.png. Bat.png. And I guess all of these are technically going to be that, so. All right. Oh, and that one too. Actually, you know what we could do? We could say that this one is red bat and this one is green bat. And now we have to go make a custom sprite out of this. We did this somewhere though. Where did we do this? Made animations, adventurers. Here, this garbage. All right, so we copy paste that and do battler. All right, so set up animation frames. And this is going to be based on, where's your animated sprite? Here. Okay, so set up animation frames. Yeah. So we have an image somewhere. And the image comes from the sprite sheet path. Okay, and we have that saved. And then somewhere we need to load an image. Right there. This is sprite sheet path. Oh, this should probably be renamed. I'll rename it at the end when I know I have working code here. Rename this to sprite sheet path. Hey, hi, Kisty. Any tips for pages where I can find software jobs in Austin, Texas? I'm a QA engineer. I had something from a while ago. Where was it? Oh, I don't remember where this was. Yeah. I don't remember where I had it. I had a list of the resources I used, but this was back in like 2020 and might not be that helpful anymore. Let me look quickly if I can find it. Oh wait, maybe here it is. Is this it? Yeah, I found it. Okay. So I'll paste this into chat. It is a, I don't even know. Yeah, I last updated this in October, but I have this job hunting resources. I don't know what's good here. I don't know what still exists. So please take all of this with a grain of salt. But these were things that I looked at or looked through or maybe even used in some cases and didn't just look at. So yeah. That's like 15 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, I hope it helps, Hikisti. Either way, good luck finding a job. I would say that maybe it'd be easier to find a job outside of Texas while still living in Texas because of COVID, but I feel like a lot of companies just clawed back their workers and aren't as amenable to remote. Okay, so we're going to have animations based on the size of this. Wait, Atlas texture. How does this work? I see. Okay. Yeah, we need to do this for all of this. Okay, so the very first thing we need to do is just load in a resource. Texture 2D. I'm guessing that's what we want. Texture 2D. So sprite sheet equals this. Yeah. Now, if the sprite sheet, if the height is, I'm gonna do this 20 that we want to set something up. Yeah, something like this. Set up single animation versus multi, and then the way we do this is by using the same atlas for all of this. Okay. Now here we had facing down, facing left, facing up, etc. We need just a default. And I don't know, I guess you just call it default. So how about we start with this? We're going to need a sprite frames no matter what. Sprite frames SF equals new. And it's going to need a default animation no matter what. I don't know if you need to add it or not. You probably don't. Godot, do you need to add that default animation? This is not helpful. I don't know. We'll just figure it out by testing it. Yeah. We'll figure it out by testing it. Okay, so in this case, we are going to add in, oh yeah, set animation speed. We could do that. It's going to be default. I guess let's just do const string default animation name. And then replace this. Okay, animation FPS is going to be 5. Where are you? I don't know. There you are. All right, put you up here. And then we want to add in, yeah, I guess set it to loop as well. Default animation name. Okay, now add in a frame from this. It's going to be a rectangle of the entire thing. So I guess it won't really be a region. In fact, can we, what does add frame take? Just a texture. So then we can just pass in the whole texture. Sprite sheet. And just add this as default animation name. Easy peasy. Okay, so there's that one. That one is dead simple. The next one is a little bit harder because we need to set up idle and, yeah, idle and death animations. And this is a little bit more involved. So we want to go through the 4 frames. I guess we want this too. So this will be death animation name. Same speed, does not loop. And frames per animation is going to be 4. So we go through each frame of animation. Now, what do we get? We get the, so this will be the idle texture is going to be frame width and frame height we put over here. Frame height we plug into that. Start X is always going to be 0, so we can just delete that concept altogether. Facing index doesn't matter. This is wrong. Yeah, this is wrong. Should be 0. Okay, then for our default animation, add in that. This is also not how this works. We need to go backwards because the first frame is at the end. This is kind of a weird way of doing things. I should have just reversed this, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, let's go backwards then. So this will be, well, for now, actually, let's just keep that because it doesn't matter whether the idle one is forward or backward. And how about we also add it to, let's just duplicate this and put this in death animation name. Okay, that is not exactly how we want things working. How's all this other stuff? Yeah, we don't need that anymore. We don't need this. We don't need that. What is this stuff for? Different walking directions. Don't care. Play the default one of these. And that's it. Okay, let's try that out. So we should have the proper idle animations, and that's all we should have that looks correct. Enemy data doesn't have sprite frames path. Oh, it doesn't rename that everywhere for some reason. What is this? Sprite frames path. Oh yeah, I said I wanted to rename this. Sprite sheet path. And now we can delete that from here. Yeah. We'll know it's working because there will be a red bat and a green bat. There's the green one. And there's the red one. Okay, yeah, it's working. So now the death animations don't work. And I think it just errored immediately. What did it error with? Already has animation default. Okay, well that answers that question. You don't need to add that. Add animation default. In fact, can you get the animation name from that somehow? Default sprite frames dot default? No. I feel like the word default has to exist somewhere in Godot. Godot constants. GD script reference. I mean, it doesn't really matter where they are. If I just search for default. Oh, the word default shows up too many times. I don't even know if this page has what I want on it, though. It doesn't look like a list of constants. Maybe this? No. They don't have a list of like every constant. Go all constant. This looks kind of close. Search for default animation. Probably be in stable version of the docs. It's in the global scope. Yeah, but how do you find it? What a silly thing. Default animation name? Oh, no, that's something I made. I was like, that's exactly what I want. All right, I have no idea. It doesn't really matter, probably. Yeah. I'll try to figure that out later at some point. Although if we have to hard code this, that's okay. Because it'll error as soon as they stop using that name, which they'll probably never use. Global scope. I think this is the page I was looking for, but I don't think they have a constant for it. I should probably save this page. Yeah. A list of all global constants is here. Yeah. Well, thank you for finding it, nonetheless. Magnetic Find is getting all of the points. Okay, so that'll fix that problem. Now the death animation. So we got to copy this. And we're going to say this is at frame height. And this will be death texture. And we add this here. So this will play backwards, though. We need it to be from the end of this. So frame width, actually, I guess just the texture width. Texture, where's the texture? What do I call this? Sprite sheet. Sprite sheet get width minus frame width times I plus 1. Yeah, that's not confusing or anything, right? Okay, so we'll say int, is this a floating? Yeah, they're floats. Okay, float x equals this. And then use the same thing here. Cool. Let's try it out. So if the red bats, well, both bats will die correctly, I hope, but the red bats die faster. So let's see if they look like they're dying correctly. They take 3 seconds to die. Yes, nice. Wow, cool. All right. We have programmatically loaded in the textures that we wanted. Now I want to test what happens when this thing dies, which is impossible because my stupid bats are doing 1 damage. So let's make them do more than 1 damage. All enemy data. 1 damage goes to 20 damage. That's our 43,000. Oh, man. Oh, wow. I mean, some of that might be intentional. Maybe you're pulling stuff. Maybe not. Okay, this enemy's going to die now, and then we'll see the death animation, but it'll probably be pretty hard to know for sure if it worked, because it's going to also move the camera. Why are my bats not doing any damage? Oh, because they have a random amount of cooldown on basic attack. Yeah, that worked. Nice. Nice. Yeah, this is great. So now all we need to do is chop up these graphics, and I think we're good. We have bat. This can be deleted. We have bat, green bat, red bat. Okay, so we're done with the bats. We have, what, 12 left? All right, let's get to work. This is actually really easy to do. We just set this to 40. And then export. Drat. I wanted to set the... Can I add recently used? Oh, monsters. There we go. Wow, look at that. Okay, so we'll call this skeleton. Export. And now do that again. Oh, whoops. Oh my God. I forgot. How do we undo? Undo. I won't undo. Oh no. I've got to flip them as well. I forgot about that. Is there a hotkey to flip? Doesn't look like it. All right, well, there is a hotkey to export. Okay, there. Now we just keep doing that. Probably flip it first so that we don't have to keep doing that every single time. In fact, let's flip them all so that I don't forget. And I don't need to run an extra step every time. Where's the last ones? Here. I like these enemies. I want to see them in the game. Canvas size, 40, -40. All right, you are a red skeleton. And then green skeleton. There. Okay, same thing. This is named Cloak. I wonder what we should call this. I'm gonna call it Grim. Yeah. Wait, why is it 65 pixels? No, that can't be right. Bat sprite sheet, get info. 64. That's correct. Skeleton. 64. Yeah, this shouldn't be 65. This artwork's unusable. I'm kidding, Quickie Joe. I'm kidding. Yeah, we have, I think, an extra pixel at the very beginning because it looks like at the right side they are correct. Actually, wait a second. I'm a little confused. There's a blank space on the left here, here, and here. Yeah. I don't know. I think we just delete the first pixel. Maybe its head is slightly moving? Hang on a sec. This should be 16, right? 16, yeah. And then there's a space on the right. And then what is this one? No space. And then what about this one? Space on the left. Yeah. So its head is moving. So we need to cut off the first pixel. Yeah. I hope you name him Skeletor. No can do. All right, so we need to resize this so that it's 64. And when you set the offset, I can't tell what this is going to do. I'll just do this and we'll see. Yeah, that's the wrong way. Okay, so we need to set the offset to -1, I guess. 64, -1. Perfect. Now we can scale this. All right, so this will be called Grim Inside Monsters. And then what's that? Like slightly blue? I'm going to say blue. It might not be blue, but I'm going to call it blue. Whoops. All right, blue Grim. And then the red one. Yeah. Okay. I think we should probably take a break. I've got what? 6 more of these to do? That's not too bad. Yeah. So where I left off, add the slimes and the worms. And then add them into the game as well. And then maybe allow for groups of enemies. Yeah, anything about that. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in a few minutes. Is it jump time? It's jump time. All right, 3 people. I probably should have introed the game or something. Close the game. Guess who showed up? It's Katzo. She's probably gonna come up here. I will entertain that for a little bit, and then I probably should just get some stuff done. So it's only a matter of time before she jumps up here. All right, canvas size 40. I wonder, yeah, I won't worry about this. I was gonna say I could probably do this more efficiently, but honestly, if I wanted to do it more efficiently, I would probably just write a tool for this. And I don't want to write a tool for this right now. And we only have 6 of these. All right, there. Now we only have 5 of these. This is blue slime. Yep, and then red slime. Hi, cat. Do you want to come over? Okay. Do you want to sit down? Do you want to sit down? Okay. Good. Good. Gonna get work done. Okay? Yes. No, 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 no. You stay right here. Good girl. Oh, yes. Good. Much nicer than your cat. Cat's not named Vim for a reason. Or for no reason, I mean. All right, red slime. Cool. All right, now we do this with the worms. Oh. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. As long as you don't keep stepping on my keyboard. Whoops. Do you changing tools and stuff? It's okay. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Minimize the damage. Switch to an editor. Here. Might as well make it so everybody can see you. Hi. This is Abby. She's a cat. She likes to meow at things. Type out Z on the keyboard. All right, will you sit down? What's our words per minute? Words per second? WPS? There. That sucker. I was willing to entertain that for even longer. All right, worm. -40, -40. Blue worm. And the last one, which we're going to call orange worm. I am very creative. Orange worm. Cool. So we got them all. Okay, let's test this out. Let's just try, I don't know, worm versus blue grim. Just to see if this stuff is working correctly. Okay. Well, that's dead somehow. I don't know how that happened. Maybe worm is not a thing. What did I call this? Oh, I saved him to the wrong directory. Yeah. I think I saved him to the downloads directory. What is going on right now? What? I want to just drag these things over here. There we go. Hey, Goose. Oh, check it out. Got the new enemies. Yeah, I like the death animation. What about this one? Oh, that looks really cool. Except it, oh, are those errors? Cannot open bat sprite frames. What's even trying to open this? Oh, right. It's built into the battler scene. So we gotta do something about that. Hold do we do? We don't have any sprite frames. I guess we just set it to nothing. Clear. That worm deflated. It just went into the ground. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, the worm dying animation. Oh, I guess it's got its head still out of the ground. I was gonna say maybe we should make a 5th frame for that one. What was I gonna do? I was gonna make it so that enemy data, so that we swap this. So this will be, what's the last one we have? Skeleton versus, let's say, orange worm. That way we get to see the player characters. Oh, and then we haven't tried slime yet either. We gotta do that. All right, so there's the skeleton. Looks good. Looks good. This dies in 3 seconds. Yeah. This looks really cool. What about their death animation? I want to see what this looks like. It's not going to die. It's invincible. Come on. Okay, there. Yeah. Nice. Head falls off. All right, and then the last thing we need to check is slime. Do we have a blue slime? I sure hope so, because I typed it out. Yeah, we have blue slime. So now this will be on your side of the battlefield. All right. Yeah. No, this looks great. This is really cool. Nothing quite like filling in some content. Yeah. Very neat. When killing the final enemy in a room, try not moving the camera to see if we show the whole animation. Yeah, let's go try that. Who's that new guy? There are several new kids on the block. All we had originally was Bat, and now we have all of these other ones. So there are just 3 colors of each. There's a Grim Reaper looking thing. There's a slime looking thing. There's a worm looking thing, and there is, what's the last one? Skeleton. But yeah, looking great. Bat is no longer the final boss. Well, we put the art in the game, but now we're not going to use any of it and just stick with bats. I think it's important that we don't touch any of it. Okay, so we're not going to automatically move the camera because I wanted to see what happens with the death animation on this. So we are going to grant most things and then start 2 battles. And that way we can see what happens to this thing. Perfect. And then the new one pops up. Yeah, good. So it's still playing out the death animation. So we just need to make it so that the characters walk to the next scene and not teleport there. But that's not going to be part of today, I think. That'll be some other time. So this looks good. Good. Oh, yeah. So there's still a question that we never answered. I don't have it open anymore. But the way that this works right now is we play the death animation and then we fade them out. And I said, should there be a delay here? So should there be? If so, how long? Because if there's going to be any delay, it should be a very, very short delay. I guess we can just try it out. Add like a 1-second delay in and see what happens. Battle system. Oh, it's not even battle system. It's over here. Where are you? Here. So on finished, we could say we want to add in a delay, right? Timer dot. I don't know how to do this. Godot. Add delay with timer. Create a delay between code execution. Yeah, yield, get tree, create timer. There is no yield in here, right? Oh wait, to signal. Wait can only be used within an async lambda expression. Consider marking this async. Okay. And then fade out. This might not work. I might be doing this from the wrong thread at that point, in which case I need to call deferred this thing. Oh, right. We can't do this with the rogue because they take too long to kill stuff. Go warrior. No, drat. I didn't even remember what I was doing. Of course we can do it with the rogue. We're just looking at their summons. Yeah. Let me just do this until there we go. Yeah, so now after 3 seconds it dies. It plays its death animation, then it waits a little bit, then it fades out. So in my opinion, I think that looks better. I think there should be a delay, and the question is just how long should the delay be? You think a second is too long? Okay. But I do like the delay, so let me try lower than that. Also, were there any debugger errors with, yeah. Yeah, a half second. Let's try that. Yeah, I think it still feels too long. I think it should be pretty short. Maybe like 0.2. I don't know if that felt too long to anybody else as well. Oh, whoops. This isn't ever going to replay, is it? Yeah, we'll try this and then we'll see. Again, for anyone who's wondering, what are we looking at right now? The player character is summoning slimes, and the slimes are automatically dying after 3 seconds. What we're looking at is they play their death animation, so they kind of crumple to a little pile, and then they wait a tiny bit before fading out. So how long should they wait before the fade out happens? You want it to be like a super small amount of time? Because yeah, the more I see this, the more I think it should probably be much faster. Are we sure it's hitting that timer? It's definitely hitting the timer, yeah. Because when it was 1 second, it was a very long time. So if I set this to 5 seconds, for example, it would be a remarkably long time. Yeah, so here it is with 5.2 seconds, I think. So it's going to keel over. That's going to wait almost a half seconds. Yeah, and then fade out. And there it goes. Yeah, so it's definitely hitting the timer. I don't know what this should be. Maybe it should be very, very little. In fact, maybe all we should do is set... How do you do this? There's a way in an animation, and I don't even know where we have an animation anymore. Adventurer, maybe? Yeah, there's a way in an animation to set a frame duration. We could just set the final frame to be a little bit longer, and then we don't even need this. In fact, that's what we should probably do. 5 seconds doesn't feel bad. I guess if it's gonna fade out after a long amount of time, it might as well be a very, very long amount of time. So you'd be like, you register, oh, that thing is dead. I guess its life bar stops showing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know at this point. I'm very torn. But let's make that final frame last for a little bit longer. How do you do that? sf.frame duration. There's just get frame duration. Oh, you set it in add frame probably? Yeah, duration equals 1. What is that? Relative duration. Okay, so int duration. Oh, it's float actually. Float duration equals I is equal to frames per animation minus 1. If so, set it to like 2. Otherwise, set it to 1. Apply a longer duration on the last death frame. Thanks, Appressel, and welcome back. Could be a game setting. This is one of those cases where it can't be a game setting because it is actually functioning in the battle to take up space. So I think game settings for this sort of thing have to be visual, and this is not just a visual. I guess you could have a game setting that changes the functionality. I mean, really, wouldn't make too much of a difference. All right, so here it's just set to double the amount of frame length as the previous frame. I don't know. I'm torn. Weekend plans. We've got some family in town, so we're going to be probably going places, doing things. Other than that, really nothing else planned, I think. Okay, I think this whole thing was just a bad idea. I'm not sold that this thing should be lasting for longer. Going places and doing things sounds fantastic. Yeah, I don't know what exactly we'll be doing. My wife took today off and is taking them around some nearby cities. So when they're done with that stuff, I don't know what they'll want to do still. I'm not saying they'll be out of energy and won't want to like tour around the area, but I don't know what remains after that. Okay, yeah, whatever. This is fine. I'm belaboring this, so let's stop this. Yeah, so we can check this in. Oh yeah, no, I understand it, Russell. It sounded very vague. You don't have space for a new summon, revive a dead monster that is on the battlefield. That could be risky because you might be reviving the strongest monster with what would have been a weak summon. But anyway, I don't think there's a problem with the current summon system, or at least not a realized one yet. I could think of what problems could be. So we have 9 slots, and right now we have 3 adventurers total. But in the future, we'll have like 15 adventurers total, and you're gonna have to pick your party, and maybe you can only pick 5. So with 5 adventurers, that would mean that you have 4 empty slots. And if let's say you had 2 were summoners, then you're gonna use all those slots pretty quickly. At that point, you could say, okay, maybe it's a problem that you only have 4 empty slots, and maybe battle should be bigger. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think we should start addressing problems until we actually know that they're problems. So we got to check this stuff in, and then there are 2 different tasks we could work on. Let's get rid of this. We want to check in all of this. Check this in. Check in this, but not this part of it. Yeah. Enemies. Let's set this back to 1, I guess, just to minimize the diff. And I'm not gonna, I don't know, let's just set all these bats again, or maybe different colored bats. Green bat. Maybe this should just be bat. Green bat should be in the forest. Red bat should be in the volcano. Might make it harder to see them. Good, good. Good, good. Yep. And what changed here? Yeah, everything has the death animation right now, so that's not actually a problem. Fade out looks good. Should disappear on death. Set up animation frames. So I think everything looks good except that this is not clear what this is doing. Premature feature planning that no work gets done. I think there's some amount of foresight you need to apply when it comes to feature planning and problem prediction. And I think that doing too much of it is coding for something that's never going to happen. And that's why there's that expression, you ain't going to need it, Yagni. Like, don't do it if you don't need it right now. Like, design for current requirements. And yeah, I think that's pretty important, especially with something like a game where you might have designed a system perfectly. It could work perfectly, but it's just not fun. So it's like you wrote perfect code. It worked exactly as you spec'd it out, and it just not a good mechanic to have added. Yeah, I think all this looks good, except for, as I mentioned, I didn't comment why this thing was the way that it was. So if the sprite sheet is just a single frame, then use that as the animation. Yeah, cool. Checking these things. Add all enemy sprites. 3 bats, 3 slimes, 3 worms, 155 hamburgers, and 3 what I'm calling grims. Hardly any of these are actually used yet, but they all should be usable, and their animations are set up dynamically. Cool. So yeah, groups of enemies. So this is where I was saying, I think there are 2 different things we could do here. One is have, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Option number 1 could be different groups of enemies in instances. Right now, the way that it works is, where is it? Instance data. Yeah, right now the way that it works is that one of these represents the number of enemies. Yeah, this. So we have 1 bat, then 2 bats, then 4 bats. And each room is 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 4. So there's no variety. There's no like, okay, 1 bat and 2 slimes kind of thing. We would need to change that. So that's one thing we could do. And option number 2, which is what I'm leaning toward here, is design a new adventurer class. So I think I want to do that. Yes. Man, that show, I'm so torn on that show. I like about half of it, maybe a little less than half. But I think it's very unique. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. I've just been wanting to do this for a while. And I think the choice is summoner versus healer. The problem is that if you can't choose party members, that making a healer is going to be tough because they won't be able to actually kill enemies. I guess you wouldn't even unlock it at first. Didn't I write about this somewhere? I think I did. Something about how there's not going to be a problem if your adventurers can't. Oh, but that's because you would just not choose a party that would always make you lose. Oh yeah, definitely. And with every sketch comedy show, I think it's practically impossible that you like every sketch. I think even my favorite sketch comedy shows, there's not 100% hit rate. And I think what was that thing called? That Mitch and Webb look or something? I think they did a joke about this where they were sitting around in their writer's room and they were like, all right, we're going to do a hit, then a miss, then another miss, then a couple of hits. I don't know. They must have gotten some like fan mail saying, why'd you make that bad sketch? Upgraded. I think I wrote something on parties here. Yeah, this. Classes don't have to have damage dealing abilities. There could be a cleric that has a heal and a buff. In general, this means that classes can fill specific roles like tank or healer since there's party-based combat. Yeah, so that was the plan, which means if we want to make a healer that is truly like everything only has 2 abilities. So ability 1 could be something like heal, and ability 2 could be something like shield or buff or whatever, something else. And there is no damaging ability. So let's see if we can construct something based on the ideas that we had here. I have a bunch of ability ideas. Oh yeah, dispel negative effects. This could be interesting. It could be kind of cool. So again, for anyone who doesn't know, all adventurers in the game have what I'm calling a class-defining passive ability, and then 2 active abilities that are automatically used every so often. So as an example, the rogue has quick strike, single target damaging ability with almost no cooldown. It has execute, which, no wait, does it have execute? Oh yeah, that targets the lowest health enemy. It has execute, which automatically kills the target if at less than 10% life. This is the passive. And then it has Cloak of Shadows, which is some buff that does something. So that's an example loadout here. Hey, Sean. There's supposed to be some general synergy with this. Hey, Ken. I was late to see your message. I'll type this out. Hi, Ken. Yeah, so anyway, with a healer, we would need a passive ability. I don't know exactly what it would be. I had this, which was kind of a cool idea. Any healing done is dealt as damage to enemies. And then there could be like a single target heal, and then maybe like a party-wide heal. This is probably a stupidly designed class, but like this is an example of something we could do. And yeah, I think it's probably lame. But it could be kind of cool. And I wonder how much we should just kind of mess around with this stuff and see how it feels. Problem is, it's not a trivial amount of work to make all of this stuff. Well, it's certainly not hard to make just this. What would be hard to do is design the abilities, because the other thing I forgot to mention is there are modifiers, mod 1, mod 2 for each of these. And those are somewhat hard to design sometimes. So what else? What else sounds good? Let's just kind of throw some ideas out there. Damage dealt to enemies is distributed as healing to allies. Yeah, this would be a different way of kind of phrasing healing. It'd be like a vampire class or something. They deal damage to enemies, and like 10% of damage dealt goes to the lowest health ally. That'd be kind of cool. Although maybe you'd want it to be lowest non-summon ally. I don't know. Cleric has a kill ability if your life exceeds the enemy's. Interesting way to make healing work. This is resonant healing, because that was not obvious. Heal the most damaged party member. Cast an absorption shield on the most recently attacked party member. I love this idea. A shield. But we would need some kind of graphic for that too. Abilities could have an on-dealt damage event that this one subscribes to, that it could store the last allies attacked. Or if many abilities need the same structure, then we can just put it in the battle itself. Yeah, I think this would be super cool. There's like a tank character you have, and then you have this one. And whichever character is getting attacked gets the shield on it. Okay, I think I want something with just like a straightforward heal. So single target heal, and then like add a heal over time component. And mod 2 would be... I don't know what mod 2 would be. And then, yeah, not party-wide heal. I don't think I want that right now. Oh, maybe it could also add a shield onto the target. And the shield could just absorb some amount of damage. Let's look at some of these other things I have here. So passive or lowering cooldowns entering battle. Enemy dies, immediately use your leftmost ability. Kind of cool. Clear cooldowns. Ooh, charm. Cause enemy to attack another enemy. It'd be kind of cool to have something like an ability, like maybe this has a long cooldown. Ooh, what? A long cooldown, like 6 seconds, and makes X attacks. Enemy attacks get redirected. This is sort of on par with a tanking ability in that case, because you're not taking damage. Summon related stuff? What if there was a summoner slash healer? What if there was a healer who healed through summons? Actually, this was an idea that had first come to mind when Dark talked about untargetable summons. I thought it'd be cool if there was like an angel summon. Can't be targeted, and the angel heals a couple of times and then disappears. I think that would be neat. There's so many possibilities here, and I have no idea what I want to do. When an ally takes damage, split it with this character as long as this character is above 50%. Take less damage, cast an absorption shield. Yeah. Okay, well, I don't have an idea for a second ability. I think it would have to be a buff. It could be like a blessing of strength. If I could type. Give plus X% attack to a different ally. But then what would this do if you didn't have any allies? I guess you'd have to have allies or else this character is kind of useless. They would just heal themselves to full. Oh, maybe mod 2 could be like chance to cast this when attacked. It could be kind of cool. But yeah, something that just powers up your allies and makes sure that they're healed. I think this can quickly get too powerful. Well, I guess you're not dealing damage for that time. But yeah, I gotta be worried about a team that has like 4 healers and 1 tank. There's just no killing them, and they slowly whittle down every single enemy. Maybe enemies just get stronger over the course of a battle, but you don't, so that eventually you'll lose in that case. But it's like, why punish that playstyle? If you want to spend forever killing enemies, then I guess do it. Yeah, I'm not sold on the passive, so I guess they're just ideas for right now. Any healing done is dealt as damage to enemies. I like this one. What else could we do? I mean, if it's mostly a healer class, it could be something like chance to revive an ally when it dies. That would be pretty cool. But I feel like if it doesn't work, or if it does work, it's pretty swingy. Like the difference between a character dying and just not dying outright. And there'd probably have to be a cooldown on this too. So if a character just kept dying, kept getting revived. Plus X% attack to a different ally. Oh, you know what'd be cool? It's like a haste buff. Oh, I don't know if I have that written down here. I have it written down for mental swiftness. Huh, interesting. I probably have it written down as like cooldown stuff. Passive for lowering cooldowns and entering battle. When an enemy dies, immediately use your leftmost ability. Chance on any ability usage to clear cooldowns. And we could have like a haste buff for another for an ally. That could be cool. Yeah, the doc buffs the sandwich guy. I remember when I first played TF2, and I'm pretty sure it's that game where the medic shoots out like syringes or something, right? And I was shooting that at my tank, thinking, why is this not healing them? Turns out that was their attack, and they had a healing beam. Yeah, so Blessing of Strength give plus X% attack to a different ally and plus Y% haste. Do we even have a way of coding haste? I have no idea. How does Quick Strike do it? It sets its cooldown on the ability itself. I guess there'd have to be a haste buff. How does this work? Cooldown, time elapsed, plus equal delta. Oh, we could just add to the time elapsed of all of your active abilities. That could work. Yeah. Haste could just be an effect that procs every like 0.25 seconds and adds a small time elapsed to each active ability. Yeah. Okay, I think I like this idea. At the very least, we could try it. So what should the mods of this ability be? I mean, the simplest thing could be give more attack, give more haste. But that's kind of boring. Maybe make it last for longer. For Z seconds. I don't know. Maybe we just start with the boring stuff then. Get more haste. I don't think you're going to care about more attack if you're shooting faster. Also, what if it, like, should it be able to target yourself? I guess not, because you have no reason to have attack on this character. Not as designed right now. Yeah, I just need to figure out what it's going to do for its passive. Should this character ever do damage? Oh, maybe overhealing counts as damage. Did somebody say that? Somebody said something about overhealing. Xana said overheal. Hey, Mekra. Oh, that's like the latest first in this stream. It's been an hour and 43 minutes. Where's Smooth to claim that? Yeah, I like this idea. Overhealing counts as damage. But there is a problem with this, which is that if you need this character in your party, it means you needed healing, which means this would never really get triggered. But there's that heal over time component here. All right, if I feel like if we have overhealing counts as damage, we need even more healing going on. So it had to be like a single target heal and a party-wide heal. Maybe it's party-wide haste that also has a heal component to it. I like the idea at least. There, yeah, healing stuff. Overhealing based abilities. Overhealing applies an absorption shield. Overhealing damages enemies. Overhealing increases or decreases cooldowns. Or applies some other buff. Actually, the decreasing cooldown part, no, that's probably too much. All overhealing would mean is that you're not really wasting your healing. Something else is happening with it. But if something is like I said, yeah, if something is happening with your healing, then the overhealing doesn't really help. I like this ability though. I like this. I like this. I think this is all solid. What's highlighted here. I like that. Yeah. So I think we're gonna delete this stuff. Do we have something about revives in here? Self-revive, chance to automatically come back from killing blows. Yeah, so it's either any healing done or any overhealing. I'm not sure which one I want here. Maybe overhealing counts more. Okay. That could be it. Any healing done is dealt as X% damage to enemies. Overhealing is dealt as 2X%, something like that. Yeah. Okay, I really like that. So then we have the first ability, looks great, cool, I like it. When they get attacked, they can just automatically heal. And then ability 2. Ideally, I guess it would have some healing component to it. Oh man. Oh, actually, I never even thought of a regeneration, a self-regeneration, did I? No, I don't think I did. Healing stuff, self-regeneration, maybe on a tank. E.g. heal 5% or heal X% of damage taken over Y seconds. With this, you now expect enemies to deal little damage or focus target on one adventurer, or you heal for a ridiculous amount of HP. Well, so that's why I think the way this is phrased is actually pretty interesting. It's like if you, let's say you have your warrior is at 50 out of 100 and you have a cleric on the team, it heals the warrior for 25, right? So it's not over healing, but it'll still do some amount of damage to enemies. Maybe X is equal to, I don't know, 20%. So you would do 10, or what am I talking about? 5 damage. 5 damage to enemies. But if the warrior were at 90 life, then you do 2 damage of regular healing and then 4 damage of overhealing. I don't know. Anyway, the numbers are all to be tweaked, but the nice thing is the way this is phrased is it's never a wasted ability. What if it boosted the damage of the healed instead of directly damaging enemies? It could do that, although not every character is going to do damage. So imagine another class that is something like a summoner, which has 2 abilities that are summon something and then, I don't know, like debuff enemies. Like this doesn't even do damage on its own. It does it through its summons. So if it did get plus X% damage, it wouldn't really help. Although you wouldn't also probably form a party like that. I don't know. I think we just need a good enough foundation, and I'm happy with this. I like this. I'm happy with this, and this. And I just don't know about this stuff yet. I like the idea of haste. In fact, maybe we just say this is like blessing of haste. Give Y% or X% haste for Y seconds to another ally. The problem with this another ally thing is that you could get into a state where there is no other ally. So maybe this is just to a friendly character. But then I don't know what the mods of this are. Like the boring ones are make this last longer and make it be better. But is there something else? Maybe improve the healing this target receives. And that could be like what you suggested. Yeah, and make it last longer. Yeah. Those 2 things together would be synergy with everything else. Okay. Whenever a character attacks, heals them, so the haste makes them attack more. Oh, interesting. So you could sort of frame this as like mod ideas like grant lifesteal while this is active, but count the healing as the clerics. Increase power of someone who deals damage or defense of those who throw buffs and debuffs. Yeah, you could do it that way, but I think another thing to consider is that the player forms the parties. So let's say you had a character that was like improves summon damage by 4,000% or whatever, you know, some ludicrous amount, and then you pair them with a warrior. It's like, well, that's just kind of silly. There isn't really the synergy there, so you just probably wouldn't do that. And in this case, it's like I want the character to mostly make sense in a vacuum, but we're going to be designing maybe like 15 characters. And I don't think it's possible. Well, maybe it's possible, but I don't think it's easy to design 15 that work in a vacuum. You're probably going to have some that work better with other combinations. And like there will naturally be tanks and there will naturally be healers. It does equal more damage output. Yeah. And actually, by making it be haste, it can affect everybody. Because even the thing that summons something could then just summon more things. Improve the healing this target receives. Grant lifesteal. I like the grant lifesteal thing, though, for grant lifesteal as a buff. This is a really cool idea. Grant lifesteal while this is active, but count the healing as the cleric's. Although functionally, this probably works out to be pretty similar to just a heal over time. So I think I'm leaning more toward these two things. Yeah, I think I like how this is designed. At least I think it's a good starting point. So class design, we're going to add in the cleric. And we're going to just paste this stuff in. I guess I'll formulate it correctly. So passive should be called, what does it do? I'm going to call it resonant healing, even though maybe that makes no sense. Healing a target causes X% of the healing to be dealt as damage to a random enemy. Over healing a target increases that to Y%, or like, yeah, over healing a target doubles that damage. Okay, so that's their first ability. Their second ability is heal or cure. I don't know. So single target heal, should be hyphenated. Single target heal, and yeah, that's it. All right, then the two mods. What do we call the first one? I don't know what to name it. What do you call something that adds a heal over time component? Regenerate? I don't know, whatever. I can come up with a better name later, maybe. And then chance to cast this when attacked, reactive healing, maybe. Add X% healing done as a heal over time component over Y seconds, I guess we say. All right, then the other ability is this. Should remove negative effects. Yeah, maybe. Here's where I'm torn on that. I like the idea of having a dispel, but in order for that character to matter, you need to be getting enough status effects that you want to dispel them. So in the starter areas, that's probably not going to be the case, right? Maybe you've got something like a poison and maybe, I don't know, some other kind of like some simple debuff. Maybe in the later areas, there's lots of different stuff like stun and confuse and blind and whatever, you know, also poison and burn. That could be maybe better. Oh, an extra mod. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is actually pretty interesting. I want to write that in the ideas. Dispel negative effects on you and positive effects on the enemy. Could be cleanses one debuff every X seconds. Could be a mod of an ability, e.g. Cleanses one debuff on the target. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, is it worth replacing the first mod for that? Like chance to dispel? Because this stuff's going to get cast pretty often. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel. Am I doing 3 mods? I don't know. Yeah, that's another question that I don't have the answer to right now. If we do have 15 characters and we had 2 skills per character and 2 mods per skill, then we're already at, what is that? 60 total, like 60 total mods. 2 mods per skill. So then we add in a third one, and now we need 30 more, or 15 more, excuse me. No, 30 more. Yeah, there are 2 skills per character. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just a lot to design. But it's also something that could maybe be done later. Although we'd have to rebalance the whole game at that point. All right, go back up to class design. So heal, single target heal, and then we're going to call this blessing of haste. And we're going to say give X% haste to a friendly target for Y seconds. And then open mind. Improve the healing the target receives by X% and make it last longer. What do we say for that? Let's just put a colon. Title. Increase duration by X seconds. Oh yeah, I just don't know what we call it. Well, we'll have to think about that. Impact. I don't know. Yeah, come up with title. All right, whatever. There's the thing. It's designed. I think that's pretty good. So we could go code this. Yeah. I want a name for this. Man, does anyone have any good name ideas? Something for Blessing of Haste that increases its duration. What would you call that? I think Words of Wisdom. All right, I don't care. It sounds cheesy. I'm still calling it that until someone comes up with a better name. I spend more time coming up with those. I know, but you also run the risk of something just staying in the game forever. Like Lightning Zaps has been around since Idle Ascendance, and it just sounds like something a 3-year-old would come up with, although now it's kind of grown on me. Okie dokie. So we have a heal ability. Where is that? Yeah, here it is. Heal. Get a... Oh, this gets 2 targets. And the only ones that are missing life. I wonder how we'll eventually want this to work. Yeah, Blessing of Base. You can only cast it on turkeys. Oh man, I realize I haven't stood up once since I've started streaming again after vacation. So it's time to stand. Yeah, I could take a break. I was thinking of what if I just didn't? I was terrified I'm gonna like drop something off the desk whenever I stand up. Yeah, so I think this will be the last thing we do today is code the cleric. And then we'll put a bookmark here. That did not work. Oh, I never added the rogue into the game. Oh well. Where's the... Oh, here it is. Yeah, new character class. We have to make a summoner at some point. Need to figure out their skill set. There. Adam transform. Yeah, I think I should take a break. Fine. But then we're going to make this class, or at least as much of this class as we can. I guess we have like 5 things we got to make for it, so it's not going to be super easy. I'll be back in a little bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, last time I'm introing this. Type join in Twitch chat if you want to play. You'll figure out how to play after that. I will be back in a little bit. All right. All right, I'm gonna join. I'm gonna climb the leaderboards. Look at me go. All right, close the game. Yeah, so we have a couple of things we could do when it comes to adding this. And I think the easiest thing is to just overwrite the rogue for now. So adventurer data. We changed the rogue. What did I call this? What did I call their abilities? Resonant healing. Okay, we got to go add those things in. So we already have a heal, so we can add in resonant healing. 30. And then what's the last one? Oh, wait. We should add in the mods as well. Blessing of haste. Blessing of haste. Okay, then I think we code these in here too. Yeah. So we should add in, what's the first one called? Heal, regenerate. And heal, reactive healing. So heal, reactive healing. All right, then blessing of haste, open mind, words of wisdom. Yeah. Open mind, words of wisdom. Yeah. All right, 34 and 35. So now we have all of this laid out. Now we need to go make all ability data. Oh boy. Let's go find something sort of like this. What's the closest thing to regenerate? I guess burn. Burn. This is burn debuff. Is there no? Yeah, there it is. Fireball burn. All right, so this is going to be called heal regenerate. Heal regenerate. There we go. So that's that one. Now we have, what was the other one called? Heal reactive healing. Sort of like counterattack. I guess none of this really matters here. Let's save this as heal reactive healing. There we go. I'm not going to worry about the descriptions and stuff yet. I just want the classes to exist right now. And I guess everything is going to follow the same structure. So let's go add in these other two here. Blessing of haste, open mind, and words of wisdom. There. And then wisdom. Good. Now we still need two more. No, one more. Resonate healing. No, and blessing of haste. Blessing of haste is probably like cloak of shadows a little bit. Let's say this is blessing of haste. There we go. And then resonant healing, which is sort of like, how's that going to be coded? I don't actually know. Passive ability granting buff. Resonant healing. I guess it's just going to change. Okay, I guess it's going to be like all the other healing ones. No, but it's anytime you heal damage. But the only thing that heals is heal. The proper way of coding this, would be to add a buff to the character and then add an event that knows when this character healed somebody. Yeah. So we should do it the proper way. That way, if we ever give them another ability that does healing, that we don't need to go change that ability around. Fine. All right, now we can go change all ability data. And we can add in all these new abilities. Does it just know what I want here if I do this? Ability ID dot heal regenerate. Is that everything? I think that might be everything. It did a pretty good job. Yeah. It did a really good job. Good job, AI. All right, now there's one problem, which is that we need heal to know about the buffs that it has, which is heal regenerate and heal reactive healing. And then we just need to go assign these abilities. And none of them are going to work yet, but this is going to be resonant healing, heal, and blessing of wisdom, or blessing of haste. And that's it. Now we go try this out in the game, and we should see everything with wrong tooltips, but hopefully no errors. Okay, so resonant healing. Yeah, wrong tooltip, wrong tooltip. Well, actually, that's no tooltip defined. Blessing of haste. Mine. Yeah, cool. And if I were to enter a battle, heal should work, but blessing of haste is going to use cloak of shadows instead. So we should see some green numbers appear. Yeah, nice. And it apparently has mental swiftness because I copy pasted that. Okay, let's start by coding resonant healing. Like I said, the right way to do this would be to check and have an event when we heal something. So we go to blessing, resonant healing. Resonant healing. And this is going to add a buff. Where is the buff? Here. So there's mental swiftness buff. We need resonant healing buff. Let me just close all the other tabs. And that. Yeah, so save this as resonant healing buff. Good, we need a new buff. Equals 14. All right, so this is just going to last forever. So we don't care about time since last usage. We don't actually care about unused ability either. We care about like on healed somebody. So where's the override of this? There's on damage dealt. So I think we're going to make an on healing dealt. Damage had damage info, which said the amount, the target type, the damage type. What is damage type? Direct over time, direct heal over time. Oh, we can use the same thing. Oh, wow. Look at that. Damage info happens to also be healing info. Well. There we go. All right, so that's what we want, and it needs to match the same arguments. Rather, parameters. Okay, so this is healing, which means it can never have killed an entity, right? I don't think so. But I guess we might as well put that there. Maybe there's some chain of effects that would have let that happen. This we don't care about. Chance we don't care about. This stuff we don't care about. Yeah, pretty much none of this. And there we go. There's our ability. It's just if you're dead, return. No, that's actually wrong. So we need to make this do damage to an enemy based on the damage, based on the amount healed. But that's where we need to know about overhealing. And this does not know about overhealing. This only knows about amount. Hey, Scavenge. So there are two ways we can do this. What's this for? This is for a game called Skeleseller. Check out this command. There are two ways we can do this. One is we could have amount represent the total healing and then check the target's life. And two is we could add an over damage amount, which in this case would be healing. I don't really care, is what I realized. Let's look at the battle system and see if it makes any sense to do things differently here. How does this work? Heal for damage, info.amount. And this knows to cap it. Okay, so then we're going on option number 1. Yeah. Cool. So we can test how much overhealing there is by getting the target. Could the target be dead from healing somehow? I know other games have this concept of like undead characters take damage from healing, but I don't think we're going to do that. So I think we are not going to worry about that. And we're going to get the target's life. So int target life equals ECS get component. Oh, nice. It already has it. So that's their life. Except for that's supposed to be a float. Healing is like holy though. Yeah, I know. I think this comes from, I think D&D did it originally. I'm not actually sure if that's the case. But I don't see any case where this game needs to do that. Also, we don't even have like enemy types like undead or whatever. All right, so this is their life. We want to figure out how much we overhealed them by. So we need to get their max life as well. And then we need to figure out float overheal amount. I wonder if it just knows. Target life plus damage minus target max life. First of all, what? Damage doesn't even exist on that. Okay, so what is this? It's their current life. If this is at max, then... No, we won't know how much you were at before this. Yeah, okay, this is a problem. That's too bad. We could say if it overhealed at all, to just convert it all into damage. But yeah, I think we need to keep track of how much damage or how much life you had originally. Okay, where is that? Oh, we could just pass that in the event, right? Yeah, we could just pass in starting life. Okay, so float target starting life. Yeah, there. Easy peasy. All right, now in the battle system, we get the target's starting life. So health component should know what I want here. Float target starting life equals hc.life. Heal for that. Yeah. It looks pretty nice. I'm too deep on Unreal. How is that possible? You said you just started it, but you're already too deep? Does just started mean like months ago? Because, yeah, I definitely get the idea of like you're familiar with something, you know how it works, you don't want to learn something new, you've already got some code built up as well. But I mean, if this was like 2 days ago or something, you're not too deep yet. Yeah, 4 to 5 months. Yeah. Yeah, well, the nice thing is if you ever want to try out, let's say a game jam or something like that, I think giving Godot a shot could be worthwhile. Because I think a lot of game jams are just frantic anyway. And you'll learn a lot as you're doing them. So we have a bunch of events somewhere for things like deal damage. Decided to do a multiplayer game too. Oh boy. Well, you'll learn a lot, that's for sure. I was just saying this, I think 2 days ago, but I think there are two kinds of multiplayer games. There are the kinds you play with friends, and there are the kinds you play with strangers. Generally ones with like matchmaking. And I think if you're making this kind, that it's probably fine. But I think if you're trying to make a game where you rely on being able to play with strangers, that it's not a good idea right now, I think. It's just too much of an uphill battle. Especially because as soon as you add in strangers to the mix, you add in things like anti-cheat and, I don't know, really every exploit you could think of. And that's just a never-ending battle. All right, where do we have this? Here it is. Actually, this should be the same way that we have take damage, right? This is here, and then we say on damage dealt and on damage taken, and that's after doing what we have. Yeah. So we're going to say on healing dealt or whatever I called this. Yeah, on healing dealt. Looks good. I don't think we need an on healing taken yet. This is target starting life. And then modified damage info. Definitely a with friends game. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. I haven't played Dead by Daylight, but I've played Pac-Man. All right, why was this modified over here? Modified damage info. Damage info with amount minus the mitigation percent. Okay, yeah. Healing doesn't have anything like that yet, but I think I already have it planned. Where is it? Improve healing target receives. Yeah. So we do need this. And this is going to be healing multiplier or something like that. So float, we'll call this healing multiplier percent. And that's just going to be a made up number, which we're just going to set right now to 1. But at some point in the future, we got to change it, of course. And then modified damage info. Damage info with amount equals this times 1 minus healing percent. No, not like that. Just like this. (4v1) majority tries to escape the killer. 4v1? Okay, I was gonna say for friends game, like it's a lot of players you're expecting. Can you post a link? I'd prefer you don't. You came in 7 minutes ago. I feel like it's yeah. I don't think it's a good idea. All right, I think we've got this coded correctly. So now this can keep track of how much life you overhealed. So we know your max life, we know your starting life, so we can figure out how much you overhealed by. And it's going to be starting life. So your max life minus the starting life, target max life minus the starting life. It's not so much who knows where it might go. It's self-promoting in a stream you've been in for less than 10 minutes. That rubs me the wrong way. Like if you'd been here for weeks or something and you're like, hey, here's a game I'm working on, I think that's different. And I wish you luck. I'm not saying like you need to leave the stream or something. It strikes me as this is probably not the first stream you would have done this in. Okay, so max minus the starting is how much you were missing. So float originally missing life equals this. So the overheal is the amount that you healed minus the originally missing life. So overheal amount equals the damage info dot amount. Actually, this, yeah. Minus the originally missing life, yeah. Okay, so we don't need your current life because it was your starting life we cared about. And now we want to figure out how much damage to deal based on this amount. Hey, D-Mock. It's going well. I have, in the last few days, we worked on a summon system. We are currently adding a cleric class to the game. It'll be the 4th class. What else? Fixed a bunch of orphan nodes in Godot. Yeah. So all in all, it's going well. How are you doing? So float damage equals, we need to know the heal amount, which is, I guess, float heal amount equals the damage info dot amount minus overheal amount. There we go. So now we have the two things. Yeah, definitely making good progress. I'm very, very happy with how things have been going as of Monday of this week. Because I'd been sick for like 2 weeks and I didn't feel fine until Monday that I could actually work again. Doing some learning? Oh, what are you learning? Yeah. So here's where we start to need some of the properties that I had written but I hadn't coded. So this is healing a target causes X% of healing to be dealt as damage, and overhealing causes, Y%. Bit of React.js and also Unity game dev. Wow. Okay, yeah, you're learning a lot. Yeah, I think game dev is definitely fun to get into. It's doing my head in a bit. Yeah, yeah. I think sometimes after a hard day at work, at least when I was working two different, well, not two different jobs, I guess, but a job and a hobby project, I wouldn't usually want to learn extra stuff. I would just want to apply my own knowledge. I think my philosophy on that has changed a little bit over the years. I think, well, I don't know, a lot has changed over the years. For example, not having a full-time traditional job anymore. All right, these chances are going to be something we have here. This is going to be chance to activate. It's going to be something like heal conversion percent. And I don't know what are good numbers to put for this. And then overheal conversion percent. And maybe we just double this, heal conversion times 2. Yeah. Learning React is to grind because I'm not interested in front-end dev. Are you officially a front-end dev for your job? Or are you full stack? And yeah, keeping your motivation up. Hey, I think that's great. I think you really got to focus on what actually keeps you motivated. React is yucky. I haven't tried Svelte, but I've used React a lot. And I liked it well enough. But yeah, I don't know what Svelte provides that React doesn't. Or rather, how it provides it. Need to learn some front end. Yeah, I think my general take, because I was doing full stack stuff for a very long time, my general take was that like front end is cool for a little while for me. And for me is pretty obvious that it needs to be clarified there. But I know people who love front end stuff, just do it all the time. I liked small doses of it. Like 2 weeks here and there, that's fine. But yeah, doing too much of it, and I'm just like, I want this to stop. I don't want to do it anymore. Yeah, I like back end stuff a lot more too. Game stuff, I think, is a pretty good mix. I think the front end of a game, yes, you need UI for games, and sometimes the UI is pretty complex. Like if you're making World of Warcraft, you need UI for practically everything. But yeah, I don't want to deal with that stuff too much. Use effect, use callback, use error boundary, use state. It's just too much. I think it can be a little overwhelming, especially if you had known React already and you're used to the old way of doing things in the component lifecycle. I don't think it's too bad once you're familiar with it. But yeah, I think like use effect in general. What's his name? Dan, his last name starts with an A. I forgot what it is. Abramov, maybe? He has some like gigantic blog post about use effect. Fine at the front end, but CSS can be very frustrating. Oh, CSS, the creator of lots of random problems. Yeah, game front end does feel different. Also, I feel like the purpose of the front end is different, right? If you're making a business application, the purpose of the front end is like, I don't know, it's sort of requirements driven. And I talk about this a decent amount, but games also have requirements. It just happens to be that one of the requirements of a game is almost always fun. Yeah, Dan Abramov. Yeah, thanks to Density. Wish AI was better at auto-generating CSS. It's probably getting there. And even if it's not getting there in terms of doing it from a blank slate, it can probably read the rest of your CSS that you've written and do a pretty good job. Ah, Elm at work. Aha, aha. Oh, drat, did I code the wrong thing? Where did... I know for sure I wrote in healing stuff somewhere. Oh, here it is. Yeah, wrong place. I meant to put this in here. Yeah, there is a lot to making a character class in this game. And it's the same as pretty much everything else, right? First you design it, and you just do that on paper. But then you need to make every ability and then the tooltips and then the sprite work. Although it's not like I'm doing the sprite work. But yeah, there's a lot of boilerplate. We might as well just type in the description. So what is this? Healing a target causes heal conversion percent. What should I say? Causes this percent of the healing to be dealt as damage to a random enemy, and overhealing the target converts an extra, yeah, I should say it as an extra amount. So let's just say set it to this. Show that much percent. Yeah. Hopefully that'll be clear. I should definitely ask people about this. Yeah. And then the buff is going to be a resonant healing buff. I haven't used Zig yet. I feel like a lot of people are talking about it, and I also feel like I don't end up seeking out new technologies a whole lot right now. I feel like for the last, like 3 to 4 months, we've mostly been just doing game dev stuff. And I've certainly learned a lot in that time too. But yeah, I feel like to apply a new language now at this point would be a new project. Get ability description. So that's good now. Now the healing amount, the damage is going to be this number. So resonant healing. Oh, nice. Heal amount times that plus, it should just know. Yeah, this is why I think AI is great. Like, look at that. All right, then we deal this damage to a random enemy. At that point, it's basically like basic attack. So let's just copy paste this into here. So get a target. Why is this called battle system? I want to call it battle. So get a target. This is of the, I guess this is of the target. Oh yeah, we can't do that. Okay, so we're going to say enemy target. If enemy target is null, then return, otherwise deal damage to the, oops. This is affected entity. Oh, power should probably affect all of this, shouldn't it? Which means power should affect your healing. Okay. Then yeah, we need to do that. I gotta write that down. Make sure healing takes power into effect. Or into account. What am I talking about? So this is just damage. Single target, direct damage, physical. Yeah, we don't have any other elements right now. Yeah, we only have physical, so it's going to be physical. Hey, Grace. It's going really well. I'm feeling pretty good about this. If you find yourself wanting to program in C or C++. Yeah, I feel like Zig and Rust are in pretty similar categories. I don't know what Zig does about memory management. Or, well, I should say like a borrow checker. Is there the concept of a borrow checker? Kind of a snarky comment, so I didn't say anything. Well, the healing modifier is just going to be power because I want there to be very simple stats. So right now there's just power, fortitude, and life. I mean, life needs to be there. These other two, you could sort of split up. Eventually there will be resistances, but then I think that's it. So when it comes to healing, it's just going to be, yeah, your power goes up. And maybe summoners should take power into account as well. I got to think about that. Summoning should probably take power into account. Also, we don't have any way to scale the stats of summons right now. So we probably need to code that. Oops, didn't mean to add a new line there. All right, I think resonant healing is working. What is this? Change parameter battle the battle system. Oh, seriously? Okay, fine. There. Yeah, I think we're pretty good here. So let's go launch the game. I can't test it right now because I need a proper setup. So we'll get that in a second. But let's try this out. I just want to see, does the tooltip work? Healing a target causes 20% of the healing to be dealt as damage to a random enemy. Overhealing the target converts and 20%. Yeah, I forgot to write additional. Nothing's going to give you a buff like X% more healing. Yeah, possibly, but I want to code that once we need it. Wait, no. What am I talking about? The cleric has this ability. Yeah, which is why I coded that way. Improve the healing the target receives by X%. There is no improves the healing the target heals by X%. So it's received, not dealt. But it's possible that what you're saying is something that we add in the future, and then I'll just add it as an effect. Okay, so the way that we test this is we need to go change heal so that it does more than just one healing, or else it's going to be really hard to tell what's going on. So let's have it heal for, I don't know how much damage bats do. I don't know, 10? Let's have it heal for 10. So it heals for 10. We need an ally, and we need to be able to go into a new battle. So town menu has one. We'll just set both of these things to true. And then we need an ally. So modify money. We need that gigantic modify money amount. Here it is. We're going to just put this inside of ready. And this will give us, oh no, don't level up, right? Yeah, don't level up. Okay, let's try that out. So now we should have everything set up. So our rogue is a cleric, and we'll have another character. Oh, there's no guarantee that they join the battle together though. Okay, so this needs to be 2. There, now they'll join a battle together. All right. No, what? Oh man, it needs to be 1. And then I want to change those enumerables, I guess. There we go. Okay, so the rogue is going to heal the mage, or I guess itself. Oh, it heals 2 things at once. Oh, all right. I got to stop the mage from doing stuff. So how about we just set Fireball to have a very, very, very long cooldown. And what's the other ability? Lightning will also have a very, very, very long cooldown. This is like way longer than the battle will last. That way the mage just doesn't do anything, so that I can tell that the only damage being dealt is damage from resonant healing. And then we start this battle, and then we take a look. So the only damage number we should ever really see... No, wait, it shouldn't just be 2. Oh, it only heals things that are missing life. That's why. So you can never overheal because you don't attack faster than the bats. Okay, you technically could, but it's a very rare chance. So let's change heal so that instead of getting targets with missing life, we get all targets and we just sort by the ones with missing life. Although I don't want it to heal. I want it to prioritize something with missing life and not necessarily the lowest life. It could heal the thing with the lowest life. Maybe we should just do that. Okay, fine. I'll have to change the description of it then. Make sure heal says that it targets the entities or the allies with the lowest life. So instead of this, we're just going to get friendly targets to list. And then can we sort? Oh, we'd sort before that, I guess. Sort. How do you pick how you sort? There it is. Comparison, is that what that says? System.comparison. Can I just pass in a lambda? Yeah, probably. Except there's no get health component. It's ecs.get component health component of A and B. And it's not current life, it's just life. Cannot implicitly convert void. Oh, sort is something we do afterward. Okay. But it's a read-only list, so this probably won't even work. Yeah. So we want this just to be a list, I guess. All right, I think that'll work. Now we only want to go through so many targets. And you might not even have that many targets. In fact, this isn't just get friendly targets. It should be get friendly living targets, right? you ever used another engine before Godot? Yeah, I've used a bunch of them. I've used Love, Unity, Pygame, I guess. I wouldn't really count as an engine, but Allegro from way back in the day, which is just SDL bindings. What else have I used? Probably something else. I think that's all I can think of though. Then there were some like in-game engines that I kind of used. I guess I made something in Minecraft and in StarCraft and Warcraft and all the craft games. But only 2 had capital C's. Yeah, so this is getting targets that are not necessarily... Oh, no, it is alive. Well. That's pretty good then. We're going to need to change that entire thing at some point. Find it fairly easy to switch between them. Switching was done over the course of many years. But I think in general, if you understand the principles of one game engine, that switching to another isn't too bad. I think where that gets stymied a little bit is when there are very, very deep systems in some of these. So if you're making like a Mario game in any of the popular editors, it's probably not going to be too bad. If you're making Sea of Thieves or something, that's probably going to be a lot harder to just switch between. Because there aren't always one-to-one conversions between system A and one editor and another editor. All right, game engine. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. I was going to make it so that we only found so many targets, int num targets to choose, I don't know, equals 2. And we need to make sure that there are that many targets. Oh, in fact, we could just sample here. Sample 2. Sure. Operator. Oh, yeah, right. Okay, so now this is possible targets, or like, yeah, possible targets. And then I read only list node targets equals sample 2. Good. Godot seems pretty cool since I can continue to write C#. Yeah, I think you'll probably have an easy enough time switching. It's potentially worth looking into sooner rather than later too, just in case you like it. I mean, like Scavenge was just saying that they started using Unreal, but they're intrigued by Godot, but it's been 4 to 5 months. So it might be hard to gauge if you like something within a weekend or even a week. Yeah. All right. This isn't totally working. Yeah, it's only doing 2 damage. Okay, let's make it so that bats don't do any damage. How's that sound? 0. Except for that's not the right kind of bat. This is the right kind of bat there. And then let's try that out. And then I actually want to debug this too. So I want to go into heal and I want to resonant healing. I want to put a breakpoint here. All right, let's load it up. So what I expect to be done is 4 damage, but it's doing 2. So I want to find out why. So let's just skip over all this stuff for a sec. Target max life should be about 100, 180. Okay, sure. Originally, missing life is 0. Overheal amount is 10. Heal amount should be 0. Good. So then the damage should... Oh, right. Because I remember. This should have been this times this plus this. So I think what we should call this is overheal conversion or overheal bonus percent, maybe. Yeah, that. Bonus percent. All right, now it should heal for 4 or deal damage. Yeah. So we should only see 4s over the bats. Yeah, perfect. Now where this gets a little bit weird is when you have some healing and some overhealing. And then it mixes the two. And it might be hard to see that because the bats do 15 damage and I only heal for 10, but maybe we'll see it happen once or twice. So 4s, then 1s. I don't know how these ones are possible. That's a -2. Oh man, what is going on? What? What? That's got to be coming from this. How did I mess that up? Yeah. One of these is probably negative. Overheal amount is this minus originally missing life. Oh yeah, right, of course. The amount you're trying to heal is 10, but you might be missing like 60 life. So this is going to be a negative, a very large number. I guess... Yeah, I guess it's only if this was greater than this. Sorry, let me just write out some numbers here. So if you have 90 out of 100 life, originally missing life is going to be 10, which, do I even need that, I guess? And then if you heal for 20, actually let's say 15, over heal for 5. So yeah, it's only when you're healing for more than the amount of missing life. Yeah, makes sense. So math.max 0. Is there... Yeah, there we go. Okay, then the heal amount is... Yeah, that should be good. Let's print this stuff out so I don't need to debug this every single time. Heal amount and over heal amount. Can it have more life than max life? No, but that is a good point that if it could, this would be broken. I'm trying to think if we'll ever allow that to happen. I think we'll probably always categorize it as like an absorption shield or something. So let's see what numbers this gives us. We'll just print here. Yeah. Yeah, this is working, but oh, hey, nice. Check it out. We got an overheal amount of 5 and a heal amount of 5, which is what did 3 damage to an enemy. Nice. Nice. No, the problem was just that I wasn't doing a math.max here. The only way you overheal is if the amount you tried healing is more than original and missing life. And if it isn't, then you actually didn't overheal at all. So this works. We can delete all of these things. And that's pretty much it for resonant healing, I think. Oh, I got to read the tooltip again. Make sure it sounds a little bit better. Why? Hang on one second. It's freezing in here. Okay. It is hopefully no longer going to be freezing in here. Healing a target causes 20% of the healing to be dealt as damage to a random enemy. Overhealing the target converts an additional 20% into damage. I think that's clear what that does. Maybe somebody might be unfamiliar with the term overhealing, but I feel like it should be obvious enough. And either way, understanding that healing turns into damage is really the important part there. The rest of these things aren't set yet. I haven't coded them, but we have 6 things to code. Actually, not really. Heal's kind of already coded, right? Yeah. Okay, so regenerate. Let's go code that. How does that work? Add X% healing done over Y seconds. Oh, man. We have a heal over time, but it's got to come from the right entity. Heal over time buff. Oh, wait, we have a source entity there. Wow. I thought of everything. Okay. Well, we just need to add that. So how about we just apply it all the time? And we'll eventually apply it conditionally. Hotba. Heal over time buff. Okay, we just copy paste this into here. Yeah. So heal over time buff. Where does the number come from? Oh, it's just hard coded to be 5. Okay, whatever. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, let's try that out. In fact, let's make it so that they do 0 healing and they only get the heal over time component, because that should still deal damage to the bat. And I guess 5 should be 2 damage that it deals to the bat, because it's all going to be overhealed. Let's try that out. It's doing 1. Oh, they're taking damage. I forgot. Yeah, okay, fine. Why is that healing so much? Oh, because the buff doesn't go away immediately, and they're casting this super fast. Hey, Guacamole. It's going well. I have been working on this game for quite a long time now. Well, I say quite a long time, but I guess only in terms of calendar days, not in terms of stream days. Yeah. And we just coded an ability that you can't see when abilities are being used, I guess, but there's whenever you heal yourself, it does damage to an enemy. And there's a lot of healing going on. So my characters are always at full life and the enemies are just dying. Seems like you can't find fellow C# on Twitch. There's a decent amount. There's C# Fritz. They've got C# right in the name. Yeah, this is working. I just need to sell some armor. You know Fritz, yeah. All right, so this works, but the problem is it's not supposed to do so much. So we need to get a couple of things. Let's go, what's something similar to this? Let's just look at Fireball. Oh, there, power scaling, I forgot about that. And then some percent per level of this. It's been a while since I've made abilities. All right, so power scaling on heal. Let me think about that. How much damage do you have, or how much power do you have? You have 12. Well, a cleric is going to have, I don't know, maybe 10. So how much should you heal? If a bat does 10 damage, you should maybe heal for 10 or so. I don't know. I don't know how often heal should happen. Maybe like every 4 seconds. Maybe, yeah, like every 4 seconds. But yeah, power scaling at 1.2 is probably good. .NET Dev? Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I've only used C# in the last decade or so on game stuff, I think. And then I guess before that, I had worked at Microsoft and I used it on test framework. Yeah. But other than that, not really used a lot of C#. I feel like I know it now. I've been using it enough, but yeah, I totally forgot it in the years that passed. All right, so power scaling I still want. And then the other thing is going to be called, what's it called? Regenerate percent per level. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I mean, whatever. They're all just arbitrary numbers, right? So your power scaling is what's going to determine your heal amount. Where do we do that? Power, get base damage. Here it is. I should really probably just code the tooltips first. That way I have all the right variables in place. And this is, it's called get base damage, but I guess it's actually get base healing. So fine, I'll name it base healing. And we'll paste this in here. Actually, no, we won't. Do this float damage or float healing equals this. Oh, nice. I had actually forgotten about that. And then paste this in here. And then the heal over time buff is going to be a separate part of this. So we say float regenerate healing equals the healing times regenerate percent per level times the level of regenerate. Yeah, perfect. And then we need to pass this in here, which we can't possibly do right now. So we need to add in a thing that says float amount. How does this work? It's amount per tick. How does the burn debuff specify this? Damage per tick. Okay, yeah, so we'll just call this healing per tick. And then what's the other thing? Duration. Float duration. Duration. Healing per tick. Now we pass in the healing per tick right here. And the duration. I don't even know what the duration should be for this. I didn't think about that. Maybe, I don't know. Like I said, these are all just arbitrary numbers right now. Where do we specify the frequency? Oh, 1 second? No, that's too common or too often. Maybe every 2 seconds or so. Maybe we'll pass that in here too. Proc, what do I call it? Proc interval? Proc interval. Proc interval. Okay, I don't know what those numbers should be. So let's just hard code them right now. For float duration equals, yeah, last for 4 seconds and proc every 2 seconds. Headed some web dev recently. Pulled out old faithful C#. Yeah, actually, that's true. I guess some people do use C# for web dev. I never have. I've always been more on the sort of typical stack of JavaScript, TypeScript. There's a potential problem that I've never looked into, which I really should look into, which is if you set something as a duration of 4 and you have a proc interval of 2, you would expect it to go off either 2 or 3 times, depending on whether you count the beginning. But let's say 2 times. I don't think I guarantee that it's going to go off for 2 times. And I think we probably should do that. It's not bad. Yeah. There are a lot of frameworks now, I feel, for practically every language. So you could probably write a website in practically any language at this point. Yeah, I think I got to file a task for later for this. File a task for later, which is if you have a timed effect with a duration of X and a proc interval of Y, nothing guarantees that it goes off X divided by Y times. This probably doesn't matter much, but for effects with high intervals, e.g. proc only every 5 seconds, it could matter a lot more. In Prolog, I make all my websites in COBOL. Good luck stopping me. I make it in white space, so if someone's looking over my shoulder, they can't copy my code. It's here for you. And hi, Raiders. Welcome in. Thank you very much for the raid. I am talking about stupid stuff over here. I've been working on this game called Skeleseller now for a couple of months, and we've been making good progress. The game itself is a game where you run a town and you hire adventurers, and they go into battle for you. So right now I am testing out healing, so they're not actually really doing any damage. So let's just force a win here. And when you win, you get items from those battles, and then your adventurers and workers will go and put them into your shops and sell them to customers. And use the money to upgrade your adventurers and stuff and get into bigger battles and upgrade your shops. So that's the general game loop. This is technically playable. I don't recommend playing it. I would wait about a month. I am fixing up a lot of the feedback from the first round of feedback that we got. Yeah, welcome in everybody. Let me know if you have any questions. So what we're just doing now is, I guess I coded this. I was getting a heal over time effect to work on this heal. Did we? Yeah, I guess we pretty much got that working. Okay, well, time to add a tooltip then. Fireball. We're going to copy this. Oh, this is just for heal. I guess this really isn't too bad. Okay, float heal amount equals get base healing. Heals a... Actually, this heals 2 targets right now. Should it continue to do that? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to just say it heals one target for now. Heals the lowest health ally. I'll say it the other way. Heals the ally with the lowest health. Lowest health for... Now this is curious. What unit do you use for this? I think you'd still say damage. No, maybe life. Life. Yeah. Any reason to use C# instead of GD script? I've got a little FAQ about the game, and that's one of the questions that's in here, which is why not GD script? And it links to this, which I'll link directly in the chat, which is just a small little bit about my opinion about GD script. Lowest health or lowest percent health? Lowest absolute health. I wonder if that's ever going to matter. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Can't hot reload C# and Godot. At least as far as I know, you can't. And not easily. I guess you could always probably code your own. I don't actually know what you do, like hot swap out entire modules that you've compiled. All right, I guess the tooltip should just be working. So let's go try that. This tooltip is not the one that I was kind of concerned about, though. In fact, I don't know. I've forgotten so much about what I used to do for this stuff. Healing per tick. No argument that corresponds to healing per tick. Is that not what this is supposed to be? Float healing per tick. What? What is this complaining about? Heal over time 21. Oh, yeah. Oh, right. I forgot this ability even existed. This should not exist. Let's just comment this out for now. I think that was some test ability I made like week number 2 of the game. All right, so what am I testing here? Oh yeah, the tooltip. Yeah, so heal. Cooldown 4 seconds. Heals the ally with the lowest health for 14 life. Yeah, whatever. I feel like this is awkwardly worded. Heals the ally with the lowest health for 14 life. Yeah. Cleric will more likely heal your full health squishies than your half health tanks. Good for overheal, bad for general healing. Yeah, it makes me wonder, should I just heal 2 things? Because that way, I think it'd feel less bad when it targets one of the wrong things. Oh man, I'm torn on that. It could heal the lowest percentage. I still wonder, like, heal 1 target versus 2. So at the beginning of the game, you'll probably have small party sizes, maybe like 1 to 2 characters. And toward the end, I was thinking you'd have like 5 adventurers in a party. And there's summons. That goes for both of these. You could have a summoner with your healer. You could have 3 summoners in here, something like that. So when you have 5, healing 1 at a time is probably kind of sucky. But maybe one of the mods you get could be like heal more targets. Maybe there could be a more single target healer and a more multi-target healer. Yeah, actually, I kind of like that idea. Maybe we eventually add in a multi-target healer. And maybe maybe it works like, I think I have an ability like this. I'll just write this down. A heal that spreads its healing over the party in the way that is needed. E.g., if each character needs 10 life and you heal for 50, it can top them all off. I kind of like that idea. I don't know if that's a good idea, though. Something that just always heals any missing life, but always equally spreads it out. Actually, I do like that idea. Yeah. If only one character is missing 50 though, it will full heal them. Okay, so at some point then, we added another healing class that is more of a party healer. All right, I like it. So I am pretty sure you're both correct, and that I should probably change this to be target the ally with the lowest percent health. Because yeah, right now it's just absolute life value. And to change this would be like dead simple. We just change this to percent life. It's really not hard. I just need to think about it for a second. Like, so what does this mean exactly? If you have a bat that has like 5 out of 20 life, then it's at 25% life. And you have your tank that's at like 200 out of 600, it's at 33% life. You probably want this to be healed more. So actually, maybe it's not percent life. Maybe it's the amount missing. It can kind of synergize with the overheal mechanic. Yeah, I'm sort of inclined to just let the player figure it out. And if people give me feedback that like, hey, I don't like the cleric, then yeah. Oh, actually, this gives me an idea too. We should probably track stats. Maybe in checkpoint number 3, file a task for checkpoint number 3, track usage stats of abilities, party members, etc. I want to see if there's any class that people really like or really don't like. This doesn't help too much from just a stats perspective though, because you might see that a character is not used just because people don't like the sprite, for example. You probably wouldn't get that over a large enough sample size, but yeah, our sample size is not super large. I think I'm just going to leave this as is for now. And yeah, if feedback comes in and people say, I don't like this, then we could change it from that. All right. So regenerate. Regenerate is just hard-coded right now and should not be hard-coded. No, wait, it's not hard-coded. What am I talking about? This is how abilities work. Now, where do I put the properties? Burn duration. I don't put this into fireball burn. Apparently not. Okay, cool. Well, let's just copy paste this. And oh, it's already copy pasted because I copy pasted it to begin with. So what do we write for this? Class design. Here it is. Add X% healing done over Y seconds. So that means we need the duration to be here. Duration equals, I said 4. Oh, wait a sec. That's not even how this works. X% done over Y seconds. Yeah, this is, I coded this wrong. The way I coded it wrong, okay, this doesn't even need to be here. The way I coded it wrong is that the amount that you heal should be spread over that amount of time. So we need to know the proc interval to know how many procs. So float proc count equals this. And then the healing that you should add here should be regenerate healing divided by the proc count. Yeah, so if you're gonna heal 10 and this thing will proc twice, then you should heal 5 per tick. But it doesn't heal for 10, right? It heals for 20% of whatever you did, which will be not a lot. It's what, 14.4 times 0.2, so 22.88. So we should see 2.88 show up. I don't know. I'm done doing math after this many hours. Let's just see what happens. Yeah, those zeros are concerning me. Oh wait, no, they're not concerning me. Those are the zeros that I hard-coded in. Nope, they're not hard-coded anymore. They are back to concerning me. All right, what did I do here? This is a float. This is a float. So the proc count should be exactly 2. The regenerate healing is based on the healing amount that you do. Regenerate per level times your regenerate level. Oh, that's 0. This should be this plus 1, right? Oh, no, it shouldn't, because you just don't get this if you're at level 0. Oh. Well, then if this is 0, we should just not add this. All right, smart. All right, let's get the right tooltip here, and then we'll go fix this up. So level equals get heal regenerate. This can actually just be the ID of this ability, right? Oh, that's so smart. I gotta do this everywhere. Yeah. The minor refactoring. Minor refactor. Use this code everywhere for tooltips to make it easier to copy paste. Yeah. All right, so per level is this. And duration is this. And both of these come from heal. So causes target, no, not causes target. It's add level times per level healing over that many seconds. Yeah. Okay, let's go try it. So first, let's look at the tooltip. Adds 0% healing plus 20% per level over 4 seconds. Is that clear what that's doing? Why can't I add points? Oh, I don't have points. Okay, so I'm adding 100% healing. Does that work? So I heal for 14. So yeah, I will heal for that exact same amount over 2 ticks. That one is healing for 9 somehow. Oh, because it's based on how much you actually healed? No, is that correct? How is this healing for 9 sometimes? Why is that number 17 showing up? Healing is get base healing of the power of the entity. Oh, because the power of the entity changes. But how? How is that possible? Because I gave them Cloak of Shadows. Oh, very interesting. Yeah, it increases your power. Oh, cool. Which means if I were to grant points, did I copy paste those too? I didn't. These are all the wrong thing. Okay, well, never mind. All right, it makes sense. Yeah, looks like it's working then. This kind of goes to show, though, that adding 20% extra healing is probably not worth a skill point, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So if you heal for 10, you'd heal for 2 more. I don't feel like that's worth it. I don't know, maybe 40%. It's probably too much. Or maybe what we do is we bump the duration to 8. And make it 40%. Yeah. Let's try it. This is probably super busted. Okay, so we've coded about half of their kit. Resonant healing, heal, and regenerate. We've not coded these 4. And Blessing of Haste is going to be a brand new thing. The other ones are... Actually, I guess so is Open Mind. And Reactive Healing. Well, whatever. I will have to do that stuff on Monday, I think. Yeah, I want to take a look before we close out here this project. I learned how to get to milestones, and it's through issues, right? Yes. Checkpoint 2. Save system, settings page, title screen, choosing adventurers, make enemies. Yeah, this part can be deleted. User research, allow for choosing an instance party. Man, we have a lot of stuff left to do. Yeah. Okay, well, how many characters did I want for this? Did I say somewhere between 2 and 4? Oh boy. Okay, well, 2 is reasonable. But I feel like if we're going to allow you to choose a party, that you should eventually, actually, that choice should matter. And if you only have 5 total characters and you're picking 3, you're mostly just picking which 2 don't you want. Maybe we aim for 3. Somewhere between 2 to 3. I'm just going to lower that number. Hey, Freshwater Fern. Thanks for the raid. Welcome in. I know you said last time you wanted to check out the stream, and you've gotten to. So hi, everybody. I do not do my own pixel art. I'm working on a game called Skeleseller. I'll start this up and show you. Let me make a quick change before I do that. Let's put this back to a normal character. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so this is a game where you were an adventurer and your dream was to just be the best adventurer, and you go to the forest and you encounter a snake and you get poisoned and you're like, whatever, I'll just go to town. You see your life slowly ticking down and you die because there are no antidotes at the town that you go to. And you say, this is never going to happen to another adventurer. So you start up your own town, and this is your town, and there you are. You're a skeleton now because you're dead. And you hire adventurers like this green-haired person to go into battle. So they do battle for you automatically, and they've got their skills that you can add points to eventually. And when they win that battle, you get items from the battle that then your adventurers and your little worker can go and stock into your shops. And once they're in the shop, these customers who are just wandering around can go purchase it, and then you will get some money from it. And you can use that to upgrade your town, upgrade your adventurers. Don Bluth opening. Oh, interesting. Not familiar with this name. Yeah. Well, anyway, so that's a game. There are, let's see, there are different checkpoints that I've been kind of aiming for. So the first one was already launched, so the game is technically playable, but we got a lot of feedback from that. I don't know what just happened there. So if I click edit here, there were 46 responses. And the ones that I can show at a glance here are like, okay, I had fun playing the game. And most people agreed or strongly agreed. There were no disagrees, at least. So even in the original state that I launched this in, people were like, yeah, it's good. It's got something there. But there was a lot of feedback, and I can't keep scrolling through because there might be some personal information. But I want to address most of that feedback before people play the game again. Yeah, it's written in C# and Godot. So we are working toward checkpoint number 2. That'll hopefully be the end of July. So if that looked interesting to you, that little demo there, the Don Bluth opening, then, oh man, I just got some like shooting pain in my back. I don't know what this is. Hang on a second. Yeah. Godot 4.3, I think. We're actually on like the newest beta right now. Anyway, if that looks interesting, I think waiting another month would be a good idea before playing the game. Because even what you see happening now in the game, like the original checkpoint didn't have a lot of this stuff. So I think your adventurers didn't walk around the town. They just randomly like walked over this gray area. Now they're actually pathfinding. And when you get a ton of stuff here, and I grant a ton of items, you can actually see, I'll actually also add in some workers. You can see them like walking around these crates that hold the items. So yeah, I think it's starting to look pretty good. Yeah, there's a nav mesh controlling that. I haven't been standing for 3 hours. No, I've been standing for maybe like an hour and a half. But I don't know what that pain was. Normally, you can identify, oh, that pain is caused by whatever, bad posture or working out too much. Or I don't know what that was. Well, thanks, The Bright. Yeah, and what C# version? I think it's C# 10 that we're using. So yeah, I was just taking a look through what are the different things that I wanted to do for checkpoint number 2, and there's quite a lot of work. And I had been working on a new character class today, which is why I said let me change something really fast. It's the cleric, which we don't actually have, so I was just repurposing the rogue. But the cleric has a couple of healing abilities and then a buff. And through this ability, this resonant healing, it can do damage. So if I were to load up the game now, you'd see the rogue act as a cleric. It'd be a little strange, but this is now the cleric, and it can heal another character. And when it heals a character, it does damage to an enemy. So the only damage numbers you see on enemies are caused by it healing itself. If I were to grant myself a bunch of points and put a bunch of points into regenerate and then restart that battle, then it would do a little bit of extra healing over time. So now it does 14 and then it ticks for like 7 each time. Yeah, so now it's doing a little bit more damage, but it's still like very piddly amounts of damage. So there's no real balance yet. I still need to figure out the values I need to set for this stuff. Yeah, still no web export for Godot 4, which is too bad. It'd make it a lot easier to share. But yeah, one of the other things we added in earlier today too, which unfortunately I also have to only show you this way. We have a bunch of different characters now. So there's a blue slime, for example, and a... Oh wait, the summons don't exist. Let me change that too. Instead of that, let's give them the debug summon ability there. So yeah, we got some new enemy graphics in the game as of today. They're just not actually used by anything yet. And yeah, so we can summon these little things. And we could fight a slime thingy. And they have death animations too. So yeah. You saw a -2 on the bat? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's go take a look. I wonder how that could even happen though. Let's speed this up a little. I maybe need to give myself points. Maybe it had something to do with regenerate. It might be only when they're missing enough life. Or maybe, huh. Thanks, Appleseed. Is it an antimatter bat? Could be. Yeah, I don't see it happening now. I could just look at the stream, I guess. Let me grant a lot of levels and see if that causes it to happen, maybe. Oh, the warrior actually deals regular damage. I wonder, it could have been caused by something else entirely. I don't want the warrior in the battle. I want it to be the mage and the rogue. There we go. I don't see negative numbers, but that's not to say they're not showing up. And it might have been, yeah, maybe there was some other text behind it. Yeah, it's hard to say. Oh, cool. Thank you, DMOC. Yeah, clip the battle. That way I can just see it. Yeah, but anyway, Freshwater Fern, Spherophoria, I don't know if you're both still there, but I hope you had great streams. I always feel like when I host somebody, I'm like, I just want to leave. not because of the person I'm rating or hosting. It's just, I'm like, I've streamed for too long. I need to be away from my computer. So I totally understand if you've left, but yeah, thank you. I do appreciate it. Yeah, we've got our work cut out for us. I've been streaming for like almost 7 hours today, so I think I'm gonna get going pretty soon. Where we'll pick up on Monday is finishing up the cleric and then probably doing more of just this whatever needs to be done kind of stuff. You know, groups of enemies. Are we gonna even have quests in the game by the next time? I feel like maybe this next checkpoint should really be in August. But if it's in August, it's gonna be the end of August, and I feel like that's too long. I don't know. Figure out what we're doing for checkpoint number 2 with this. I'd love to have quests in the game, but they need to be meaningful enough. It was a 2 behind a 3. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you for checking that. I'll give you a point just for even looking into that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'd love to have a few hours of gameplay for the next checkpoint. Man, I keep getting caught up on this. It doesn't really matter if I release it a little bit later. I want to do it sooner, but I'm gonna like work myself to the bone if I do that. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Monday I'll be finishing that stuff up, and then Wednesday we'll get to mentoring, and then nothing else till the next Monday. Yeah. Spent most of the morning looking at orphan nodes, how to properly free everything. Spent the afternoon designing and implementing the cleric. Got about halfway through. None of the side quests have any meaning. I guess what I'm trying to say is the system can't just be a one-off showing it works kind of thing. I've got to have quests where it's like maybe there are 3 quests and there's some kind of reward that you actually care about. If I can't do that, then because right now here's what they look like in the game. I guess I am like super losing my train of thought here. The way they look like right now is that you click the character and you can say accept a quest, and they just give you the options. There's no reward yet though, and then it just says 0 out of 5 here, which means that any weapons that you pick up, I'll speed up the game a little bit, will go into this bin instead of going into one of the displays. So the underpinnings are there for this. And then once the quest is completed, you can accept another one. And I like the idea of this too. It's basically saying instead of you getting the value of whatever item you would have sold, you're putting it toward a quest. So I like the idea. I think we got to change how it's surfaced somehow. And then we need to actually code the rewards and everything. Sometimes I slip and forget to update it for several days. You know what's helped me with that is on my daily to-do list, just writing journal at the bottom and then just bumping it down to the next day. Yeah, well, my general tasks are growing. I've mentioned this. So the IRL stuff, I mentioned my in-laws are here for like 2 months. And this has sort of cut into the time that I have to work on this stuff in nights and weekends, which I probably shouldn't be doing to begin with. But I really want to. I took a vacation for 3 weeks. We went to Spain, and in that time I couldn't work. So I just kept being like, I want to do something, I want to do something, I want to do something. And I finally got back and I was sick. And it's like, I have all the energy to do this, but I need the time now. I'm in a Twilight Zone episode. You have any plans for a quest that requires you to do multiple fights in a row, like a dungeon or something? So right now, every sort of instance or battle you go into is multiple battles in a row. And it's just kind of hard to show. Well, it's especially hard to show when my characters are totally imbalanced. So let me just click lose and then grant most things, and there. Okay, so if you look at this, no, not this character, the one behind here. So this character is actually dealing enough damage. When you win a stage of the battle, it goes to the next stage. And when you win all 3 is when you can finally win items from that battle. So here we've just fought 3 slimes in a row. But that's just a regular fight. So in the future, what's probably going to happen is if you picture the starting area as the forest, we'll probably have like 1 room with 1 to 2 enemies. And then you'll work your way up to the cave, and it might be like 2 rooms with 1 to 2 enemies. And then toward the end of the game, you might have something like, 5 rooms with 9 enemies each or something. So it's a real like test of, can your party stay alive for that long? Can they deal enough damage to win? This might be excessive, I don't know, but that's the kind of thing I'm picturing. So I think that progression in the game will be there. And I think a quest sending you into a dungeon is so that you can get certain items from that dungeon, as opposed to, can you kill a particular boss? There might also be bosses in these dungeons. But yeah, quite a lot to do. All right, I'm going to go find somebody to raid. I know I've just been rambling for a while, but I think today's been super productive. I'm very happy. I will go find somebody to raid. I wonder if anybody uses this raid browser. Okay, I don't think I've seen this person. Yeah, thanks, Dmoth. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about the game in general. I really like, how do I even, hang on a second. I'm trying to figure out if I follow this person or not. I think I need to just go to their stream. No, I don't. Okay, yeah. I think we'll raid this person. Yeah, I'm excited about the game. I'm excited to work on it. I'm really just looking forward to getting more time to do it. So yeah, Monday we'll come back and we'll pick up where we left off, keep working on the cleric. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for the raids from everybody, and I will see you on Monday.